Hi, Lane. Hopefully you can hear me okay. What's this game about? Serving coffee to zombies? Ish? I wouldn't say, I don't know necessarily if it's gonna be zombies, or just people who have passed and it might just be their spirits that are left. So I don't know if you would consider those zombies, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. Hi everyone, welcome back to another stream of We Die Too Much. We're moving away from Hello Kitty today with Necrobarista. Zombies, yeah, I don't know if we would categorize them as zombies, but yes. Yeah, this game has been on my 2 playlists for a while. And I was kind of trying to look for something that was still pretty low-key, but not too... something interesting, a little bit more low-key, because I'm still pretty tired. I actually slept for most of today because I had a pretty bad headache. Why would it be called Necrobarista if you're not being involved with the dead, though? I didn't say that they're not dead, I just mean that it might not necessarily be zombies. I'll also need to figure out if where chat placement is an okay place, because this is technically considered a visual novel and usually the text is at the bottom. Maybe actually let me move this over here first. Yeah, let's try that and then see how it goes. And I'm actually gonna turn on the fan because it's getting quite warm. Also, let me know if you can hear the fan pretty well in the background. But yeah, okay. I guess I will get started. Just gonna check the config. Higher type speed. Controls. Okay, this is a mouse keyboard kind of game. Probably poisoning patrons. Hey, be nice. We haven't met any of these characters yet, okay? We'll see if they're actually poisoning them or if they're just here to talk or something. It's probably fine. Okay, thank you. They thought of the faraway grave on the plain. They thought of the comrade who came not again. They lifted their glasses and sadly they said, "We drink to the name of the maid who is dead." Henry Lawson. Oh. Cough. Cough, cough. It's too bloody damp down here. I know we're underground, but I don't suppose there are any windows we could open. There's a ventilation duct in here somewhere. Maddie, mind opening it up? Get some fresh air circulating? The other end's blocked right now. There's a dumpster sitting on top here. You'll have to grin and bear it. I'm working, so I won't be paying too much attention anyway. Okay, sounds good. Enjoy working, in quotations. Can we hurry this up? Calm your farm, old man. You're well aware it takes a while to set up. I don't appreciate your tone. Sorry. At the very least, can we turn some lights on? With all the rubbish you've got scattered around the place, I'd like to at least know where I'm putting my feet. Ashley, would you mind? Ooh, we got light. Oh, I was thinking there would be like 3 people-ish, but it looks like there's 5 of them. Thanks. More organized than last time, I see. Practice makes perfect. Hey, Maddie, how much more wire do we need? I think that's enough. Great. Now, Che? What's up, little P? I found you a chair. Ah, thank you. So, this whole thing. Surely it's not legal, yeah? Maddie wasn't clear on that. Yes, the council found it confronting. For a good reason, I suppose. As it utterly upsets the natural order. Mate, it's not just bureaucracy. Shush you. Most rules can be bent after all. And Maddie has a particular fascination with breaking rules, as I'm sure you've realized. Hey, don't give her all the credit. Is this related to her gambling for time? Mm-hmm. So, the transfer. Was the same sort of magic we're doing now, yes? Small scale, though. Doing it on a larger scale requires a bit more preparation. The council successfully suppressed all available information about it, though. For good reason. What happens if something goes wrong? Well, you don't tend to mess it up more than once. Or try it again after you fail, for that matter. Stubborn scholars notwithstanding. What do you even call this sort of magic, then? Oh, the light went off. Question's irrelevant, because it's banned. Extremely cool? That's what I call it. Well, by definition, it's a conduit ritual. But hey, we're among friends, so we can call it what it really is. Are we summoning the dead? Necromancy. Oh, we summoning the dead. From your hazy memories, a certain word calls out to you. Necromancy. I tried desperately to remember what it meant. Well, I was not able to read all of the text behind that. This fragment of a memory stays with you. Piece together the past, remember what transpired, and never forget you are. Oh. Oh. Where are we? Who are we? So let's go forward. I knew this had to be cafe related, so I was kind of tempted to make some coffee for this. Press and hold to expect the memory. Okay. But I was like, do I really want coffee right now? And then I was like, So I made a matcha latte instead. And now that it's so warm, I'm like, oh, I should have made this an iced matcha latte. Press and hold. Do I get a prop? Oh, wrong button. It was supposed to be right click. Oh! Terminal house rules. Oh, these words are very... Oh! Maddie's rules. We welcome both living and dead. Patrons will be served in the order they arrive. Please don't ask who's alive. It's rude. If someone wants you to know, they'll tell you. The dead have 24 hours to spend within the premises before moving on. Strictly enforced. No, we don't have Wi-Fi. Report broken items and other anomalies to staff. We can't clean up your broken glass or spatial rift if we don't know about it. Don't feed the Eidolons. They can't eat, and offering them food just reminds them of that girl. Oh. Huh. Okay, oh, the door's open now. Sometimes I'm watching something in this game and I'm like, right. Sometimes you don't have auto forward. The terminal. Carlton, Victoria. Australia 3053. Excerpts from online reviews. Pretty unremarkable copy. Oh. Barista speaks Chinese but exclusively uses it to mock people to their faces. I'm very self-conscious about my top hat now. Observed little girl running around cafe with knife unsupervised. Came down with deep sense of ennui after visiting. Was really told to stop being a big dweebus after complaining about burnt taste in coffee. This coffee's some of the best I've ever had. 5 stars. Disclosure, I have no taste buds. Oh. Hey, mate? You right? Back! You can see me? Clear as day, yeah? What can I get you? I've been walking around for hours. Nobody was talking to me. I don't even know how I got here. I think you'll find it was via the door. Front door, sorry. Okay. Right. Where am I? This, dearly departed, is the terminal. Carlton's finest. Departed? They say our coffee's to die for. So, I don't really know how to go about this. Ask me anything, man. You're not the first disheveled dead guy to drop in, and I'm sure you won't be the last. What does everyone else ask? They generally ask, what does everyone else ask? And they always say that. Then there's the embarrassed silence. Alright, I get it. You make a habit of bullying everyone who comes through, or just the pitiful ones? It's almost exclusively the latter. I guess that's consistent. Always felt like people saw me as a pitiful guy. Sorry, I was actually just kidding there. No, you're right. I'm a sad sack. Boss hated me, family hated me, work sucked. Just like everything else around me. Now I'm never even gonna have a chance to make things better for myself. That's it. Stick a fork in me, I'm done. Hey, come on. And now I'm sitting in a cafe for dead people, falling apart in front of the barista. Mate, pull it together! Number 1 rule, no breakdowns at the cafe, please. That wasn't your first rule. I promise, man. You are okay. I know how it is. Are you dead? No, and I don't know if you read the rules outside, but... God, I did. Yes. Can't even get that right. In that case, you'll also have read that you have 24 hours left before you gotta move on to the next place. And I don't think you want to spend them having one big, long, extended panic attack. 24 hours? What I'm saying is, everything's okay. Just take some deep breaths. We'll sort this out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to be a fuss. Cafe's empty. It's not like I've got anything else going on. Don't worry about it. Are you sure? I'm kind of averted. You're not. Promise. Chin up, mate. Let me tell you about the building. It's got some cool history. So, the first time I came here was about 4 years ago. And that's why you should never ever serve a martini to a dead biker, even if he specifically asked for— What? Wait, no, I want to hear the story. What happened? Why don't you want to serve a martini? Huh? Of all the possible ways to react to that, that's one I certainly didn't expect. Yeah, no point in seeking external vengeance if you're gonna have to leave in a few hours anyway. It kinda strips it of meaning, you know? There's no way to tell whether you'll even care once you cross over. But then again, maybe I'm just being a buzzkill about it. Shouldn't go around policing people's reactions to things. I'm still wrapping my head around all this. That is. Feels weird to say it, doesn't it? Weird. Yeah, that's the word. So, you said most people don't ever find out how they died before they pass? Even if they got murdered or something? Yep. Most people don't die from murder. It's mostly sickness, or old age, or lawnmower accidents. Well, they call them accidents, but really, loads of lawnmowers are possessed by evil spirits. That's sad. Alright, hold on just a moment. You can't just drop that and move on. Possessed lawnmowers? Seriously? Anything with spinning blades attracts them. Garden equipment, blenders, power saws. They're a real pain in the arse. Gotta do at least 1 or 2 exorcisms a month on the coffee grinder. Really? I thought you were joking! That's wild. Yeah, that's my face too. What was that? So, I know I'm breaking the rules again, but how many people in here are dead? Yeah, it's a cafe for dead people. Does that mean it's everyone? Or some of these people just really into ghost cafes? A little of column A, a little of column B. Plenty of mortals come through. But this is one of the only crossing points in the country, so we get a lot of your type. That's also why the rent is so high, because those vampires who own the place know we get a lot of foot traffic. Literal vampires? No, like boomers, landlord class. Same thing, I guess. So, to answer your question, there are 9 customers in here right now. Out of those 9, yourself included, I'd say about 4 or 5 of them are just passing through on their way to the next place. How can you tell? Once you've worked here for a while, you get a sort of sixth sense for this kind of thing. Gotcha. Speaking of sixth senses, I've got one for trouble. You have 2 sixth senses? Where did you come from? Hello, Ashley. Oh, you're a lot shorter than I expected from the opening scene. TBH. Ashley had adopted the cafe staff a couple of years back, much in the same way that a puppy adopts a squeaky toy. She was the kind of ferociously smart kid who absorbed information like a sponge, but only used it to cause trouble. Oh no! Today she was accompanied by the stench of motor oil and brought with her a look that said, "I'm an invincible genius." She was mostly right about that one. Alright, I know that look. Spit it out. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Get the crap, kid. What are you after? I'm busy dealing with a customer. I'm not really needing any attention. Shut up, Kishan. Oh, you exchanged names! I need an extra pair of hands, and none of my ashlings are around to help. Don't you have any claps? We got you a bunch for your birthday last month. They're all being used for other very important things. They were not. Pretty sure I saw one on a table upstairs earlier. No, I really need a helper. Ashley, I'm busy. Please. Hey, I could probably... Please. I could... Come on, Ashley, you've got to let us work. I'm not gonna get anything done down here if I have to keep going upstairs to find the screwdrivers you've misplaced. But... Hey. No dice. What about Che? He can help me. But what about... He's emptying the dishwasher. Sound familiar? It should, because I told you to do it an hour ago. Oh. It's really no trouble. Oh! Why don't I take this guy? Only thing he's busy with is being dead. Hey. Come on. Ashley, I'm not going to argue with you about this. I'm sure he would rather relax than be bossed around. Also, manners! We've talked about this. You've got to be more respectful in front of customers. Please? Sorry. I'm happy to go upstairs. Really, it's fine. I don't have anything else going on. And I'm super dead. I'm cool with it. I'm Kishan. Very dead guy. Happy to help. You sure? I can just send her back upstairs. Promise. It's fine. I'd just sit around and be a pain otherwise. Perfect. Come on, peon! You've got work to do. Oh, we got called a peon. Dang. Ashley wasn't getting enough attention. With Maddie's newfound responsibilities, some sacrifices had to be made. That meant the kid would just have to occupy herself more often than not. She still felt guilty about it, and... You know, I reckon this place needs more plants. Ah! Jesus Christ, Che! You're gonna give me a heart attack, you old... What's on your mind? Head in the clouds, as per usual. Did I look like I was thinking weighty thoughts? Excruciatingly so. What's going on? Nothing important. Hi, TGL. Just my resting... Oh. Nope. This one's different. How so? Your facial expression is reminding me of the time you tried to fistfight that cosplayer. Oh, the samurai? The one who barged in, waving his gift store katana around and demanding satisfaction after I refused to put 15 shots in his coffin. Oh, yeah, I would refuse that too. Weirdly specific. What's it look like? Looks like he just got threatened with 1,000-fold Nippon steel. It's a precious memory, so I remember it very clearly. A mix of deep disgust, a whole bunch of derision, and a tiny pinch of pity. Yep, that's me. What a mood. I also thought the game has something to do with the dead. Yeah, I mean, the necro part does make you think that way, right? We did also already meet a dead guy, by the way. You alright though? Real talk. I'm fine. I'm actually fine, or let's not talk about it fine. The second one. Pharaoh. Offer's still open if you'd like to talk things out. In the meantime... Sorry. Can I grab that tea towel? My hands are wet. Oh! Yeah, here you go. So, did the dishes need hand washing, or... I'm sure I told Ashley to empty the dishwasher earlier. Nah, thing's busted. Door latch won't close, my color repairman. Ashley shouldn't wash them by hand anyway. Her arm would corrode, so I did it. Why would her arm corrode? Not a problem. Yeah, fair enough. So, like I mentioned, it'll need a repair unless you want to let Ashley at it. I called a repairman myself, but our landline stopped working last week. We have a landline? Yes, ancient technology. An inelegant tool for a less civilized age. Only works when you pay the bill, though. I don't know if it'd be cheaper to get it repaired, or to just buy a new one and give Ashley the old one for parts. The costs are pretty close, all things considered. Hi, Meng! Hey, don't work too hard. You'll worry yourself into an early grave. Hey, you spent 50 years digging holes. That sounds like pretty tough work, old man. Ow, old man. For your information, I'm barely 170-ish. I'm failing to see the inaccuracy. It was during a literal gold rush. Everyone was doing it. Only thing different about me is that I eventually started digging up things more interesting than gold. Like... Only kind of gold I'm interested in is brown gold. Coffee. Shut up. Hey, so... I know it's just another stress on the stress pile, but I think we need to put in an order for more kitchenware soon. Yeah, and another thing that costs money. We're beginning to run out of cutlery, though. It keeps disappearing. I'm not sure where. I don't know how long it can wait before we get more. Oh. It's that thing again. Don't know if we can afford that this month. Just, you know, everything's a bit too pricey right now. Doesn't help that the coffee cartels keep pushing prices up. I don't think the importer is part of a cartel. They're quite nice. I've seen photos of their kids. Is that how they get you? You think that they're evil and then they're like, oh, but look at how cute my kids are! Waves around photos. You ever spoke to them? They're obviously criminals with the prices they charge. Wholesale my arse. And yet, we keep buying from them. Well, yeah, the beans are good, man. It's just everything else on top of them that's stressing me out. Yes. I'll happily accept the blame for some of that. It's fine. You don't have to. So, what's this game about? We're kind of trying to figure it out right now. At the very least, we can say that this is a cafe that can serve dead people. Like, can serve coffee to dead people. But they do get, like, regular customers as well, so you can't actually tell if some of them are alive or dead. We got our first dead character that we know of, and he got pulled upstairs to help this little kid with some mechanic stuff. Or rather, I think she was trying to look for a screwdriver, and then she was arguing with Maddie, who's the one that's at the espresso machine right now, that she wanted her upstairs to help out, and then he ended up volunteering to follow her, so yeah. And now we've just met Shay, and they've been talking. So you haven't messed too much. It's fine, you don't have to. I know it's all on me. I've just got to figure out how to pay everything off. Everything. And everyone. The council of death and doubly time debt we owe to them are the last things I want to think about right now. The what? Time debt. I've lost enough sleep over it already. Hey, I'm here to help. I'm worried about you, you know? You've had a lot of responsibility dropped on you in a very short period of time. And I can't help but feel a little bit culpable for that. I know. Yeah, I know. And I can't thank you enough. It's alright. Hold yourself together. We'll figure it out as a team, just like we always have. I just don't want to deal with it, you know? I get it. And I don't want you to feel like I'm imposing or interfering too much. I know the cafe's yours now. And even though things are a bit much at the moment, I know I keep saying this, Maddie, but I don't know how much time we have to deal with all of this before things start falling apart. Things are already falling apart. But you're going to have to face reality at some point. You know that, right? Che, oh my god, yes, I know. I don't need any more reminders from you. Back off, man. Cancel's always on my mind. I can't escape them. My best is all I can do, okay? Just because you're my best friend and my old boss and my mentor doesn't mean I need you preaching at me about how I need to deal with my problems. Because they're my problems now. Not yours. Alright. No worries. I'll give you some space. Might go check on Ashley. You seen her recently? She's upstairs. Dragged a customer up there talking about clamps or something. I'd better go rescue them then. Be back in a bit. He's right, isn't he? We really could use some more plants. So we're gonna strap a big ol' steak knife to it and make them fight each other! Love it. This is gonna be great. I want to build something that gets put on that TV show Battle Royale with flamethrowers on with flamethrowers on it. You're not gonna put one on this little guy, are you? A flamethrower? Probably not. But I want you to record the fight on my phone so we can send it to the producers. Yeah, sure thing. Let's get this knife attached. Hehehe. Pass me those zip ties! Zip ties! And a knife! Knife! And my coffee! Are you sure? Who even gave you that? Coffee! It's empty. My coffee is empty, Kishan. The world is beginning to vibrate? Maybe it's good that your cup runneth dry, empty, yeah? I think my cup needs to runneth with more espresso in it. How many shots did you put in there? Too many, Kishan! But did anyone ask Icarus how many shots of espresso he had? Yeah, I'm reading a book about Icarus. He flew to the sun. I'm cultured. In unrelated news, I have a headache. I think you might want to read a little more about Icarus. There's a twist ending to that one. I'm holding a knife, Kishan! Oh my gosh, no spoilers! No spoilers, promise! Go. Alright, Jay, just say hi. Try not to get a knife slung at you this time. You got this. Hey, kids! Ah! Intruder! Oh my gosh! Kishan, my buddy, my pal. Did I get him? No, you missed. But wait, you threw it on purpose? Extremely on purpose, yes. I'm fine, by the way. Oh, it's just you. Would it have been worse if it was someone else? Probably. Unless they were an actual spy come to steal my robot designs. Oh, sorry. Then it would have been good. Hey, I think I'm crashing. How do you just fall asleep like that? Oh no, is she okay? Did I kill her? She'll wake up in about 15 minutes with no ill effects. But you probably shouldn't give her any more coffee. She turns into a real goblin. Wow, that was close with the knife. It was super close with the knife. Oh, she told me that would make her immeasurably powerful. I mean, she's not wrong, but you know, great power, great responsibility, yada yada yada. She's 13. Kid's got plenty of energy already. Maybe not the right sense of responsibility, though. Yeah, I don't even know how I ended up sitting here attaching knives to robots. She's very convincing? You don't have to tell me, mate. She basically lives here. Her parents would kill me if they found out she'd nearly killed me. Pretty good blind throw, though. She makes me proud in the weirdest ways. Huh. Did she learn from the best? She did. But the best, it definitely wasn't me. Maddie's pretty deadly with knives. Loves her flashy tricks. Bad habit, probably. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm being very rude. My name's Che. I used to own this place. Now I just sort of sit around and cause trouble and sometimes have knives thrown at me, I guess. I'm Keishan, and I died today. Ah! I'm alive! I'm alive? Oof, we got a loud one here. Ah, be nice. You know it's scary waking up. Big lights coming towards me! I think it's reliving its last moments. Looks like it. What am I watching? What is happening? Hello! I do not remember having this many live. Huh? Join the club. Oh, you have an extra 2. We are reborn in a new image. I see. I'm Kepler. Nice to meet you. And I'm Jacoby. I am undefined. I don't know if that name will stick. Its body is made of milk, a milk carton. Should we just call it milk? No, too basic. Imagine if you called me Goon just because I'm made of a Goon box. I wouldn't like that at all. Ashley was yelling about someone called Loveless the other day. That's a good one, I think. How does our new friend feel about it? Acceptable? Excellent! Nice to meet you, Lovelace. So, Kepler, Jacoby, and Lovelace? There are a lot of characters. Yeah, I agree. I think that's 7 now? Not minus the 2 shadow ones from the very first scene. Look at you turning into a responsible— oh, that's all I saw. During intermissions at the end of episodes, you can freely explore the terminal. Memories are scattered throughout the terminal that dwell into the tales of its patrons. More locations and memories become available as you progress through the main story. Okay, sounds good. Oh, I can move. Oh, that's to continue. Thinking about alchemy the wrong way. Highlighted passages from Thinking About Alchemy the Wrong Way by Sophie Cordova. Most study of alchemy throughout history can be categorized as either practical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to understand the world only as well as it needed to fulfill certain utilitarian ends, and philosophical alchemy, that is, alchemy which aims to come to a more complete understanding of the world as it is without prejudice, for which portions of alchemical understanding can be wielded to utilitarian ends. In modern alchemy movement, there has been a tendency within literature to place a greater emphasis on philosophical alchemy based on the premise that coming to a more complete and correct understanding of the universe is the best way for us to discover new practical methods for the physical use of alchemy. I don't actually know how much actually went into my brain while reading that, but interesting, I see. Oh, shoot. I didn't finish reading that, sorry. Can you go back? Much of this is based on the modern scientific movement and the post-Enlightenment era. Much like our understanding of theoretical physics gives us more accurate models of physical reality, which have real applications in engineering. Having a better understanding of alchemy on a philosophical level informs our practice of alchemy. However, it may be that this focus on alchemy, which places an emphasis on being correct rather than useful, has thrown out the baby with the bathwater. Oh, what? Admittedly, my position here is hardly biased. The fact that practical studies of alchemy have largely been chased underground is the reason that the tome you're reading is self-published rather than distributed through more official channels. For example, underappreciated in the development of modern alchemical practices is the use of a 5-element model. Early pre-Aristotelian alchemical models were based on an understanding of 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. Later, Aristotelian alchemical models separated elements into 4 categories of earth, water, air, and fire. While this model may be more accurate and reflect an evolution of our understanding of alchemy, it seems to sacrifice the more practical separation of elements in a way that better allows us to understand less tangible things. While wood is not an element strictly speaking, it helps for us to think of it as such. This is so much text, what the heck? So is there any gameplay or is this a kinetic? Oh, wait, you can move? Seems mostly like a kinetic novel, visual novel sort of thing with a little bit of moving around. This is the second time we've had like a little bit of space where we can move around, but yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. Okay, where did I leave off here? While wood is not an element, strictly speaking, helps us to think of it as such. After all, juxtaposing wood against elements such as metal and fire makes it apparent that wood possesses certain soul-like qualities that other elements lack, which might prompt us to question what it is about wood that seems to make it behave like a super element with practical uses beyond the conventional. There is a great irony in the fact that while these kinds of questions eventually led us to discard the 5-element model, the new model no longer allows for the existence in this sort of question to exist in academic literature. This book serves as my guide to asking the wrong questions to arrive at the wrong answers that nonetheless seem to work. It is a book for troublemakers and rule breakers. Indeed, the fact that you hold this book in your hands right now is probably evidence that you have broken several rules to acquire it. Or you are a rule enforcer tasked with destroying my work who, for some reason, has decided to take the time to read it. Perhaps you are reading my work in search of identifying information which might lead you to my location, or you are reading to gain a better understanding of someone whom you consider to be an enemy. Perhaps, after reading my work, you will realize that my ideas are not so dangerous as you've been to believe, or perhaps you will realize that they're exactly as dangerous as you've been told. That was quite the long snippet, but interesting. Okay, so alchemy was my main takeaway from that. Okay, lamington recipe. Authentic Australian lamingtons. Ingredients: 200 grams of butter, 1 cup caster sugar, 5 milliliters of vanilla extract, 3 Malfoil eggs, 500 self-rising flour sifted, half cup milk, 2 cups shredded coconut, icing, 4 teaspoons of sugar mixed in and dissolved in water, 1/4 cup cocoa powder, 100 grams of butter, half cup water. You will also need convection oven, lamington pan, baking paper, an electric mixer, a lamington. Possible substitutions. Chicken eggs can be used in place of Malfoil eggs. If electricity is not available, whale oil mixers can be used instead. It is strongly hypothesized that a homunculus made with lamington DNA could be used in lieu of an actual lamington. What? But no confirmed tests have been confirmed. Due to the lack of success in producing actual homunculi, especially homunculi capable of baking. Instructions: grease lamington pan. Line with baking paper. Using electric mixer, beat butter, vanilla, and sugar until airy. Add eggs to mixture, have your lamington, stir flour into mixture and add milk, have lamington, pour into pan and smooth. At this point you may dismiss your lamington, they are no longer needed. What is a lamington at this point? Bake for 30 minutes. Make icing. Boil water and combine ingredients. Beat until smooth. Apply icing coating, 1 milliliter thick, and sprinkle coconut. Repeat until all icing and coconut have been used. Note that it is not necessary to have a lamington perform this step. Tips for procuring a lamington. Any recently departed Lamington who comes into contact with the 40-60 mixture of vanilla and coconut will begin to glow red. Note that 30-70 vanilla coconut mixture will cause them to glow green. The 30-70 mixture can be used in the case of potential Lamingtons who have particularly flushed cheeks or are otherwise difficult to identify by a red glow, but this is generally discouraged as the effects can persist for several hours and can often be unsettling to guess. What is the Lamington at this point? Only about 20% of people who claim to be Lamingtons have actual Lamington ancestry, hence the need to test potential candidates. Be particularly skeptical of anyone who claims to be directly descended from either a Lord or Lady Lamington. Lamington pretenders uniformly claim to be descended from a former lord, leading to the overwhelming of these claimants being false positives. Most Lamingtons were agricultural workers, so anyone claiming to be descended from a farmer of Lamington is more likely to be credible, but should still be tested to verify authenticity. Do not bother testing anyone claiming to be descended from the 3rd Baron of Lamington, as Victor Alexander Brisbane William Cochrane Bale died childless. Gluten-free option. Having a Lamington stir self-rising flour into the mixture is critical to the synthesis process and will not work with a non-gluten alternative. The no GF option. I feel like I'm like, what did I just read? Interesting. Okay. What else is around here? Big tree. This is a pretty cozy looking cafe though. Oh, Crucible product reviews. Spirit-resistant quartz crucibles with self-sealing lids. Product description. Wait, spirit-resistant quartz crucibles with self-sealing. I mean, self-sealing lids sounds really useful. Heat-resistant up to 1,650 degrees Celsius. Self-sealing lids form airtight seals around the crucible's round rim. Highly resistant to corruption and spiritual interference, clear inner and outer covering allow for easy spotting of cracks or imperfections. Quality suitable for mixing potions and filtres. Average rating 3.5 stars out of 5. Product reviews 5 out of 5. I love this. The covering, despite being quartz, has a textured appearance that gives it a silky smooth feel to it. Most crucibles feel sterile and cold, but this one makes for a perfect beverage container when entertaining guests. 4 out of 5. The previous crucible set I used was inherited from my grandmother, who brought them over from New England. Unfortunately, 2 months at sea were not kind to her spiritware, and her crucibles were filled with tiny cracks and microfractures that allowed unsightly-looking soot to build up, leaving them stained with hard gray lines everywhere, looking like they were about to crack apart at any moment. She used them for several decades to come, but every time I worked with her and watched them heat up, I was afraid they were constantly on the verge of shattering. One she used to contain a lost wayward spirit for several days before finding a home for it, and I would get up at night to check the embers under the crucible, and it always unsettled me how fragile the container was. Several times I found myself tempted to tip the crucible over just to see how easily it would shatter under my soft touch. Needless to say, this new set is much nicer. They are sterile and I can keep several of them in my bedroom without feeling unsettled by their presence. 2 of the crucibles in my set arrived with small chips in them, but I contacted the manufacturer and they replaced them at no charge. The replacements were express shipped and the process was quick and painless, so great customer service, and they offer replacements up to 1 year. For the price, they can't be beat. Excuse me as I not watch since the jerky motions are making me motion 6. Yeah, sorry. Owned mine for 4 out of 5. Owned mine for 2 weeks and it didn't crack. Decent for the price. 5 out of 5. Wait. Owned mine for 2 weeks and it didn't crack. Decent for the price. Why is it 4 out of 5 then? 5 out of 5. Received mine in the mail this morning and I can't wait to try it out. So glad to have finally found someone selling crucibles at a reasonable price. brand name one costs over $200, which is just outrageous. 1 out of 5. Bought this several weeks ago since it was the cheapest crucible on the site, advertised as spirit resistant. I'm working on a filter for my graduate thesis and purchased 100 of these for lab use. My plan was to monitor 100 different animal spirits over with different types of plant matter and compare how different biomaterials affected their vigor over a 90-day period. First day I set First day I set with 5 with samples of mugwort, feverfew, ginger, ginseng, and golden seal. I placed them in the crucibles over low heat, 80 degrees Celsius, and left them overnight. And over the next 2 days did the same with all of the remaining crucibles, finishing on a Friday and leaving the lab alone for the weekend. When I arrived back on Monday, I knew that something was wrong when I noticed a rain cloud hovering over the door. It's not uncommon for rain clouds to appear at any time of the year, at any time of day in our part of the country, but it is quite another to find a rain cloud localized entirely within the hallway of your research lab. I braced for the worst, but I guess I should have braced harder. Nothing could have prepared me for the smell when I opened the door. I immediately felt my eyes watering and actually found myself choking. It smelled so bad. I slammed the door shut and went to the basement to grab one of the emergency respirators we keep down there. Unfortunately, the respirator did little to mask the terrible stench inside the lab. I opened the first crucible and saw that it was filled with tar-like substance, and as I studied its inky black, writhing form, I felt the air sucked out of me, almost like it was trying to drag me into the abyss with it. I threw it onto the floor and the container shattered, splattering the floor with the tar-like substance, which began slowly crawling across the room. I grabbed a fire extinguisher from the wall and sprayed the tar until it was completely covered, and heard what sounded like a sputtering noise followed by a long gasp and a scream that faded into oblivion. After poking at the fire extinguisher spray, whatever was underneath was clearly quenched. Like, it was thirsty. I took the remaining crucibles and placed them in the oven and baked them at a temperature of 1,600 degrees for several hours. Oh, that's why it says that I can withstand up to 1,650 degrees Celsius. For several hours as I sat alone in the lab, contemplating the cruelty of existence and wondering what my academic advisor would have to say about my thesis project. After several hours of waiting, I opened the oven and checked the contents of the crucibles, revealing nothing but ash. Whatever it was that had been drawn by the spiritual emissions of my lab work, it was gone from my world, but the memory of that day will haunt me for all the remaining days of my life. That's quite the review. 1 out of 5. Do not buy this crucible for spirit-related applications. My wife is one of the project designers who worked on this item. The crucibles in this listing come from a manufacturer called Mar Security LLC. Back in 2013, they were some of the best hardware you could get for your money and earned a reputation among hobbyists as great value for anyone working on a budget. In 2016, they did a survey and found that fewer than 3% of buyers were actually using crucibles for spirit-related applications, and decided they could cut costs by removing the spirit-resistant properties. Oh no! However, they found that products advertised with updated ad copy to reflect this didn't sell as well, so they continued using the old product description, which advertises it as spirit-resistant, with the new product line which is not spirit-resistant. Oh, that's bad. I don't know how they're getting away with this. Apparently, the definitions of what is actually spirit-resistant are legally murky, and the number of people affected is small enough that they continue to sell well. Stay far, far away from this one and warn anyone you know who might buy an item like this that it does not work as advertised. 5 out of 5. Nice color. I see. Okay. Oh, Ashley's journal. Battle Royale Robots Power Rankings. Windlass. When I first saw the name of this bot, I thought it was stylized to be like a girl who could run control storms and run like a ninja, a real lass of the wind. Or maybe a girl of the elements, someone with the ability to become the wind itself. If I were a windlass, I could vanish in an instant whenever Maddie appeared. She would look around and say, "Where's Ashley?" And I would be right there, but she wouldn't notice it because I would be one with the wind. Then when she left, I would fade back into the room like a ninja. This would only work outside and in the rooms that are really breezy, so I'd probably set up fans in the workshop to make it really drafty. Then I looked it up online and learned that windlass is actually a fancy name for a winch used to pull anchors up, which at first made me think this bot was lame. It works by hooking its arm under enemy bots and pulling it up to flip them over. It never even tries to smash the other bot to bits or melt it with fire, but then I watched it in action and realized that flipping your enemy on their back to incapacitate them is the ultimate ninja move. Windlass moves like a master, spending the entire match trying to bait its opponent into exposing its weakness. And then, like a ninja master that knows how to jab at exactly the right pressure point on the back of the neck to make her enemy's head explode, Windlass grabs the enemy bot by the one part of it that happens to be sticking out at the wrong time and flips it onto its back. Note most bots only have wheels or legs on the bottom, not on the top, so when you flip them over, they are totally helpless and match is over. To avoid this happening, make sure to put wheels on top as well. Oh. When I make a bot like Windlass, I'm going to call it that. Because that's what it is. I see. Wait, let me just double check that that's all she had to say about that. Yes, that was it. Oh, there's the upstairs. I can't go upstairs. Okay, back downstairs. Oh, camera sensitivity, that might help a little bit actually. And maybe less camera drift. Prices: House Blend, $3.50, single origin. Mocha, hot chocolate. Prices aren't bad, actually. Oh, milkshakes. You have milkshakes for $7. And you have jasmine tea. Menu: toasts, eggs your way, French toast, croissants, avocado toast. Baked breakfast: eggs, mushrooms, bacon, grilled tomato, baked beans, black pudding, sourdough toast, blueberry pancake served with vanilla ice cream. Ooh, that sounds like pretty heavy breakfast though. Okay, before we continue, I will be right back. coming back. Let's continue. Hopefully there will be less jerky movements during the actual episode. Man, I'd love to see that. I could use a pick-me-up. I can't promise it'll be there. It's kind of inconsistent. Still though, a hallway that's only there sometimes? How do you get to the kitchen otherwise? There's another slightly longer one that we use instead. It's much less exciting, but on the upside it's consistently there. I love telling new people about it though. The reaction's always hilarious. I definitely didn't expect to be getting enthusiastic today over a weird quantum hallway. Or enthusiastic at all, actually, because as soon as I stopped to think about it, I realized I'm actually extremely messed up about this. I understand. Your life has gotten very weird very fast, conceptually speaking. Or, your unlife? I should be better at talking about this by now, shouldn't I? Geez, that's not a fun one to think about, huh? Just keep talking about the hallway so I can keep my mind off this. To be honest, I'm not sure I could even properly explain a lot of what goes on in here. The building's mildly sentient, too much magic in the soil for it to not be, really. So the cafe's alive? Not necessarily. Plenty of things have come to life here, but as far as we can tell, the building itself doesn't really fall into that category. Also, it mostly tends to shift itself in ways that are helpful instead of frustrating, so... Quantum hallways. It's fine, probably. Okay. If you say so. I'm making myself a cuppa. You want something? Nah, I'm good for now. Also, what's the barista's name? I didn't actually catch it and I feel like a jerk. Maddie? She's the owner now, not just the barista. Still makes coffee, of course. But since she's the owner now, she has a lot more to juggle. Why are you asking? Got your eye on her, eh? No, I have a boyfriend. Had? Oh, geez, this is a lot. I can't imagine how he's feeling. Try not to think about it. Okay. Yep. Okay. You want that drink now? I think I want something a little more potent than coffee right now, sorry. Don't enable him, Kishan. Shush. I can get you something stronger, mate. Shot of whiskey, perhaps? I thought this was a cafe. Well, it is. Mostly. We do serve alcohol, though, and stronger things on request. Stronger? Like what? Baiju? Absinthe? I never actually figured out how to pronounce that. Pure ethanol? You think a place like this wouldn't have anything stronger than that? Stronger than pure ethanol? Sure. Remind me later and I might pull out some of my special reserve. Don't enable him, Kishan. Hey, someone's gotta drink it. I know you're not gonna touch the stuff aside from setting it on fire. Excuse me, I have perfectly good reasons for wanting to set a puddle of his distilled soul on fire. We'll have to agree to disagree on that one. So, Kishan, what'll it be? Actually, I changed my mind on the coffee. Can I order something complex? Gotta treat myself on my last day on Earth. I'm after a sugar rush. If we have the ingredients, it shouldn't be an issue. Maddie can whip it up for you. Cool. In that case, oh, she disappeared. Can I have a large quadruple shot, double vanilla caramel, no foam, super hot reverse coconut milk macchiato? What does reverse mean? Oh my god. With 2 sugars and whipped cream on top? Maddie? Yes, dearest. Can you, I don't quite know how... Is this real? Oh, is it too much? I was gonna ask for that shot of whiskey Che mentioned earlier, but it seemed a little extra. Well, yes. It is too much? I don't even think Starbucks would serve that. Why? Because it's a mortar, man. Dang. Get every single word of that increase. Every single word of that increased my urge to set the espresso. Shoot. Wait. Oh, you can go back if I accidentally hit the scroll wheel on my mouse and it reversed the text. So good to know I can go back. Every single word of that increased my urge to set the espresso machine on fire so I wouldn't have to think about making coffee ever again. Okay, actually, let me go back on that. How much can I go back? Oh no, I can only go back 5, so I can't actually see. I can't see Keishan's order. Okay, what does it mean by reverse? I'm curious. When baristas or coffee enthusiasts use the term reverse or upside down, it usually refers to swapping the traditional order of ingredients in an espresso drink or using a specialized latte art technique. The exact meaning depends on the context of your coffee order. Reverse, upside down drink prep. When you order a layered drink reverse, the barista builds the drink in the reverse. Oh, so like you would have foam at the bottom and then espresso on top? For example, caramel macchiato. A standard recipe goes vanilla syrup, steamed milk, espresso, caramel drizzle. Reversed means the barista pours the espresso on the bottom, followed by the milk and vanilla, and finishes it with caramel drizzle on top. I guess my cafe kind of would do that differently. Because I think we usually went... Because we would normally we would have the vanilla syrup and the steamed milk, and we would steam those together, but then also pull the shot of espresso and then add the milk on top of the espresso anyway. Like, we wouldn't... I feel like if we had the steamed milk first and then poured the espresso on top, then that would kind of break the foam layer after steaming it. In any case, reverse brewing method for coffee AeroPress refers to turning the coffee maker upside down. Barista or homebrewer places the plunger at the bottom, puts coffee grounds and hot water in the chamber, and lets the coffee steep like a French press before flipping it onto a mug and pressing. My brain's trying to wrap my head around how that would look. Plunger at the bottom, puts coffee grounds and hot water in the chamber, and lets the coffee steep like a French. Oh. Maybe I would... okay. A reverso in some cafes means brewing the espresso directly over the cold or steamed milk. Barista adds the milk to the cup before pulling the espresso shot, allowing the two to fully integrate. Okay, that part does make sense. But it'll still break the foam. Anyways, interesting. The more you know. It doesn't it mix or sync like the espresso? I'm assuming you mean like when you have the steamed milk and then you put the espresso on top. Yeah, the espresso would sink to bottom. The idea is for it to mix more with the drink, I think, since you would have the espresso coming from the top down. I think? Question mark? But in any case, might also depend on how different cafes make the drinks / what is expected to be standard. Moving on. Oh, but the whiskey's fine. I do that too. I have a counter offer, which you have to accept. Yeah? I'll make you another double shot, long black, and I'll put whiskey in it. Oh, whoops. But I won't call you hipster this time. If you decline my offer, oh god, I will strip your soul from your body and use it to scrub the counters at closing time. They will smell delicious afterwards, if that's any consolation. Oh, yikes. That does sound like a competitive counteroffer. Not the soul thing. I'll take the coffee. My generosity knows no bounds. Normie. So, to conclude, that order sucked because it defies the laws of physics, has a heart attack's worth of sugar in it, and is something only wankers ask for. Is it possible to die twice? Yep. You can die twice if you're brought back from the dead, or if you manage to really annoy someone between here and the next place, which is more likely because resurrection is legal. But if you're asking whether you can get a heart attack or whatever, the answer is no. Life and death have a slightly different meaning here. Can't die from natural causes. It's a bit complex and weird, and we're still in the process of figuring out how it all works. I'm over 200 years old and I still haven't made proper sense of it yet. I thought you were only 170-something! Oh, whoops, I missed the last part of it. Just got some vague ideas. Right. So what's keeping me from just staying here? Like, I'm already dead. Why do I have to go to the next place? You've got a certain number of hours you're allowed to remain on the edge of the mortal realm. Hours are fungible. Fungible? They can be bought, sold, and exchanged, generally speaking. But Council of Death always collects on debts owed to them. And you'll start running up a debt if you stay here too long. Your soul starts to get itchy too. It's not something you want to experience. We've had a few stay past their allotted time, and they've gotten very uncomfortable very fast. It starts with general irritability, and then worse things begin to happen. Huh. It's a weird thing to wrap your head around. How long do I have before I need to make myself scarce? You get 24 hours, any longer and we start to pick up the tab, since you're on our premises. And as charming as you are, we've already racked up too much time debt from letting people stick around past their expiry date. We're deep enough in the hole as it is, hours-wise. And cash-wise. We're extremely poor. We'd have been too lenient in the past, letting people stay just a little longer instead of gently shooing them out onto the next plane of existence, etc. You know the drill. But hey, since hours are fungible, you can always acquire them some other way. There's something happening tonight, actually, that you might be interested in. Seriously? You're still doing that? Shush. You know the council doesn't look on that stuff favorably. Ned said so himself. It draws customers and helps us shave down the debt. I'll take whatever I can get. And hey, we have a 13-year-old right here, you know. Oh, she's heard enough coarse language for a lifetime. I'm not too worried about her. She's right, though. What? Every time Ned comes around, he makes you guys really stressed out. Maybe not you so much, but Maddie gets nervous and it brings down the mood. Man. So, goodness, I think you've had too much coffee today. I'm crashing so hard right now, you have no idea. It's like I was crashing earlier, but that was just a pre-crash and I'm having a double crash or something. I understand that feeling. All I ask is that you try and keep the swearing to a minimum when customers are around. Okay. Does Keishan count? It's fine. A couple of my housemates are tradies, so you learn to ignore it pretty quick. Are tradies? Were tradies? Ugh. They're still tradies unless they changed career in the last couple days, but they're not my roommates anymore. Hey, mates, have I mentioned how much being dead sucks? Because it sucks and I feel extremely bad about it. Having a pretty bad time right now in general, to be honest. Yep. Even just adapting your language is a pain, isn't it? Want a proper drink now? Without coffee in it? Yeah, that would be good. The TV didn't say anything about there being a storm tonight. Huh. Looks like a decent-sized one's rolling in. Melbourne weather strikes again. I'll go upstairs and close the windows. Cheers. Come on, Ashley. Let's clean up your workbench while we're up there, yeah? Do you need a bribe? Yes. I have some chocolate hidden away. Acceptable. Wait, dead people can still get drunk, yeah? Why else do you think we serve alcohol? To make money? Well, yeah. Hang on, do I even have my wallet? Doubt it. I don't, yeah. How does that work? Why do I have my clothes but not the contents of my pockets? I don't know, dude. Everyone's experience is different. Death doesn't follow many rules. Only a universal rule I can think of is that you can't stay. People don't generally come in without their clothes, fortunately. So, about this drink. I guess you're gonna give me straight vodka or something? Why's that? You don't like making complex drinks. Dude, no. I don't like making ridiculous caffeine-laced milkshakes for overcompensating soccer dads. I'm happy to mix a cocktail within reason. Oh, okay. What have you got then? Shay's got everything you can think of, and then some. I could go for a mint julep? Hey, what's that outside? Outside? Some guy out in the rain? Ah. Maddie? Maddie, what's up? Let's get started on that drink. You have no head! Morning. Hi? Hello, recently departed. Hey, that hat you're wearing kinda makes you look like... Ned Kelly? Could have sworn you were standing outside literally a second ago. So, how'd this one cark it? Good morning to you too, Ned. Oh, you're Ned. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, Madeline. That's not even my full name. Isn't it, Maddie? Shay said it was, and he never lies. He never said that. Well, no. But it was worth a try. A try at what? Catching me off balance? Some along those lines? Mate, I'm so off balance right now that a light breeze would knock me head over oars. Don't push me. Hey, this mint julep is great. Just wanted to contribute that to the conversation. So, did you catch the game last night? No. And I do not care to discuss the egg sport with you or anyone else. Don't try it. Oof, just making polite conversation. You should try it sometime. Maybe. Not for you, though. You never come in during daylight hours before. Oh, you've never come in during daylight hours before? What do you want? Nothing much. I'd like to talk to Che at some point, but it can wait, seeing as he's... missing? Planning on sending out a search party? Might do. It'd be a shame to lose an old friend by letting him wander onto some train tracks or something. Yeah, well... shut up. He's upstairs, last I saw. Was that the last you saw, Maddie? Tell me. Why are you like this? What was it? Last saw him walking upstairs. So he could be anywhere then. Probably fled the country to dodge the massive time debt you lot are racking up. He can't go far. I've got him on a pretty tight leash. And in regards to debt... it's not your problem. You must not have heard. Not your problem. Hey, your friend Ned is here. Oi, I'm a distinguished gent, not a... I'll be down in a sec. Yeah, sure, but you also work for the Council of Death, so even if you are a distinguished gent, it cancels out. Is the Council of Death like a normal city council, except for wherever dead people live? Yeah, but the only trash that needs to be collected is right in front of me. This guy? Me? No. You. You're the trash, Ned. The trash is you. It's you. Ned, the trash man from hell? Because councils pick up trash. That's the joke. Oh, cool. He's even got a head shaped like a rubbish bin. It's totally fitting. I'm not from hell. I don't care. And to be clear, Ned, in case we weren't already, you are the trash. Yeah, I get it. You know how long Che's going to be? Dunno. He was busy upstairs with Ashley. Yeah, I had to hide like 5 steak knives from her. I didn't even know we had 5 steak knives. Bit quiet there, mate. How long have you been sitting there? Doesn't matter. Well, your employee's being very rude to me, so if you'd heard any of that. I keep trying to tell him. Ah, my employee. Yes. We have some catching up to do. I don't follow. Did she quit? Did you fire her for gross incompetence? Ah, far from it. There's been a bit of a shake-up in the cafe's management structure since you last visited. Oh no. Don't tell me you gave her the whole thing. Okay, I won't tell you. I tried to tell you before, man. Hey, does anyone else like mint juleps? Because this is great and I'm nearly done, but also my tongue is numb and I'm wondering what the deal is with that. Was there something you wanted to discuss? I need a drink before we go through all that. Sure, the usual? Yes, please. Hi, Dino! Oh, this game. Yeah, this game. Have you played it? How come he gets a curly straw? So, Che, spin me a tale of how and why you handed down the cafe to this person. Well, every man's got his price. Can my price be a curly straw too? Buddy, I'll give you 2 if it means you'll stop complaining about numb lips. Yeah, what did you make this with? Couldn't find half the ingredients, so I put in a bunch of baijiu and, chili seeds? It's got some of the stuff, though, so it's a mint julep and spirit, if nothing else. I thought you said Che's got everything! Does this have any mint or julep in it? At all? It definitely might be lacking mint, and I cannot confirm nor deny the existence of the mythical julep. You asked for a baijiu earlier, though, so there you go. Mission complete. Maddie, I am getting very drunk very fast. Baijiu will do that to ya. Oh my gosh! Here, I think you should have a little lie down. I'll get you some water. I'm as strong as an ox. I don't need no lie down. My dude, you absolutely need to get horizontal as soon as possible. You can sober up in one of the booths up the back. It's nice and quiet over there. I'll fight ya. I'll win though. Up you get, mate. Haven't played it, but I heard about it. Seems fun so far. Would have been helpful if you told me about this before. She also tried telling you herself, you know. You just didn't believe her. Probably. I'm not worried about it. Maddie knew what she was getting into with this whole cafe situation, and it's natural that it might take a while for her to get the hang of running a business. Bit of a dog's dinner, though, isn't it? Oh, for sure, but it'll get better. Like I said, not worried about it. Well, you might want to hold your judgment on that for the moment. I am, unfortunately, here on official business. Oh. I shouldn't have given you the straw then. No, you shouldn't have. I look quite silly. Want me to get rid of it? It's just Maddie. She won't use it to derail our conversation or make me look like a fool or anything like that. Straw? No, I'll get you one after you have a nap. You can sip on the water like a normal person. I'll put it with the dirty dishes then. The sacrifices I make for this job. Hey, you met me through it, so it can't have been all bad. That was bloody 100 years ago. Man, really? Longer. Time flies when you're immortal, huh? Classy immortal. This old rust bucket's still got an expiry date somewhere down the line. What's this about immortality? Hey, you should buy more plants! Shut up! Sorry, continue. Immortality? Nothing that I trust you with, that's for sure. Don't you want to see crotchety old me being rude to youngsters in 100 years? Truly, I do not. The far future doesn't need amateur necromancers. Your loss. So, you two heading upstairs? Actually, Ned does, in fact, have something fairly important to discuss with you. Oh? It's about the debt you owe to the council. Yeah, I know. What about it? Maddie, it's time. You owe us over 600 hours. Chase signed a contract. The hours, or the cafe. You own the cafe, so you own the debt. And tonight, I've come to collect. Oh. Let's see. Hi, in Rainbow. Oh, we only just got to the game's opening? How long is this thing? I think it's supposed to be about 4 hours-ish of gameplay? Sorry, not 4 hours. 7 hours? 4 hours? I can't remember anymore. I vaguely remember the website was like, it'll take you 4 1-hour sessions to finish, so like mathing it out, it's about 6 hours-ish. So it's not that long, but how do I say? Yeah, I'm surprised that we got the opening now too, because I thought that we were like 2 episodes in. Like, I thought when we got like the little segment where you walk around the cafe, that was like the end of episode 1, so this would be episode 2, but maybe they wanted to introduce the key players first before they showed the opening? I'm not sure. We didn't see Ned at all before he actually showed up, so yeah. That was kind of intense. Do they do that often? Oh, this is, in case people haven't been introduced, is do you remember their names? I know this one's Jacoby, this one's Lovelace, this one's... Nope, I don't remember your name anymore, sorry. The song and dance thing? Yeah, what do they think they are? Some sort of anime street gang? What sort of self-obsessed jerk has their own theme song? Don't be a downer, pal. No, I was talking about the dramatic encounter. Oh, between Maddie and Ned? Yes. Yeah, they've got chemistry. Not the romantic kind, the explosive kind. Can't leave them in the same room together or they'll kill each other. Bad history? Maddie's just a serially troublesome person from Ned's perspective. Doesn't help that she can't stop herself from pulling pranks on him. No, I suppose not. I mean, he doesn't make it easy either. I don't think he's used to having his authority questioned. She really gets under his skin. Wasn't he a famous criminal? Oh, was he? And therein lies the irony of the situation. What a strange world we live in. GLaDOS? Nier? No, I don't remember the middle one's name. I was thinking that... Oh, Doodle mode is now available. You can now speak to Ashley to access to... What is Doodle mode? Okay, I'm gonna try and make it a little bit less jerky with the movements, but I think that might be hard on keyboard. Oh, a pool table. Oh, you have text. Okay. Brad took a sip from his beer. It was non-alcoholic, but there was something about the dry aftertaste that kept him frosty. He leaned over the table and lined up his next shot. He eyed the problematic 9 ball in the upper right corner. He had a low percentage shot on it if he elected to bank it in, but he had 2 other stripes in the lower left to set it up. If he had an audience, he'd go for the bank shot for sure. He liked the chance to shine. But today, there was no one to impress. No audience for flashy low percentage shots. He took the shots on the 11 and 12, and 3 shots later sunk the 9. An easy shot on the 8 sealed the deal. Brad scanned the table. 4 solid balls remained, a dismal performance on his part, or a stellar performance on this part of the Stripes player. That was the problem with playing against yourself. You always won, but you always lost too. Brad chugged the remainder of his beer and added it to his collection of empties, which now stood 5 bottles strong. He took a moment to survey the room. His table was the only one of the 4 that was in use. That didn't come as any surprise to him. It was early in the evening and he had grown accustomed to spending time alone in his room. He knew when he could come here to be alone and when the other sharks showed up. Brad grabbed the triangle. It was looped around his collection of beer bottles to set the balls in order for another round. Someone came up the stairs and Brad looked up briefly, long enough to see a woman who he recognized as the dour-faced barkeep who had served him the beers that kept him company for the past hour or 2. Several steps behind the woman, he saw an older-looking man. The man stopped in front of the table opposite Brad's and began chalking up his cue. Brad directed his attention to the man. He usually offered people a game when they came up, but the man seemed prepared to keep to himself, so Brad said nothing and tried to focus on his own table. He set up to break, and the older man coughed as he shot. He hit the cue ball just a fraction of a degree off. It bounced off the rack into one of the side pockets as the rest of the balls jostled around the table. Stick. Brad didn't swear when playing pool. His earliest experiences with competitive billiards had been in an environment that forbade obscenities and issued foul penalties every time he let out an involuntary. He had to find cleaner substitutes. Break, came the sound from the old man's table. 2, 3, 4. Brad put down his break cue and picked up the leather-tipped cue that was leaning against the table. 5, 6. Brad chopped his cue, trying to avoid the tilt from his bad break. 7, 8. He lined up to shoot and realized that the man was already fishing his balls out of the pockets and collecting them in the triangle. Brad did a double take. Had the man sunk the 8 ball after 8 strokes, including break? Brad continued playing his own table but kept an eye on the older man this time. It happened again. Break. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. A perfect clean sweep. As the old man began clearing the table, Brad walked over. "Excuse me," he said, "but I couldn't help but notice you just hit 2 perfect games." "What's that?" The man turned to Brad, squinting at him. Brad repeated himself, a bit louder this time. I was just complimenting you on 2 perfect games. Impressive stuff. The man heaved his shoulders. Sometimes you get a bit of luck on your side. Still, said Brad, you don't see novices hitting 2 consecutive perfect games. The man offered another infectual shrug. Do you, want to play a game? Brad gestured to his own table, which was already set up. Most of the people who come around here tend to be novices. I've been itching for a bit of competition. Brad paused, but the man said nothing. Of course, if you'd prefer to play your own table, I don't mean to intrude. We can play, said the man. Though, if I can shoot a perfect 3rd time, you won't get to. I'd be impressed if you could pull that off, said Brad. The old man racked the balls and stepped away from the table to let Brad break. Brad leaned over the table and took several practice strokes before finally connecting with the cue ball. The break was weaker than he expected, but he managed to sink 1 ball. He looked at the table, annoyed, and realized that he hadn't bothered to check if the rack was frozen before he broke. His next shot was a straight into the middle pocket. He briefly visualized the trajectory of the cue ball in his mind. It would easily knock the 6th ball in, then bounce towards the front of the table. Brad wasn't confident of where exactly the ball would stop, but he was confident he'd be able to do something with it. He took the shot, and the 6th ball went in. Solids. After the cue ball settled, he found himself with no good options. Brad smiled. Making something out of nothing was his specialty, and after a few moments of eyeing different angles, he settled on a shot towards one of the bottom pockets. A strike ball was in the way, so Brad hit the cue ball several degrees to his side, curving its trajectory around the enemy ball. It hit the solid 3 ball, and the shot was made. Brad looked at the man, hoping for some kind of reaction. The man's mouth remained a flat line, but his eyebrows arched. If anything, the man's lack of an obvious expression struck him as a deliberate attempt to not show a response. That he had managed to get a slight rise out of the old man felt like a sweet victory. Brad made his next shot quickly, an easy straight-in shot on the 2 ball, made without thinking about where the cue ball would land. That was a problem for future Brad. But several seconds later, present Brad found himself scolding past Brad for putting him in such a foul position. He was corner-hooked. Okay, I know nothing about billiards, and I wasn't expecting the story to be so long. Oh, welcome back, Elaine. So how many people has T killed? Someone tell me. We haven't killed anyone yet. No one's more dead than they were when they walked past that door, okay? He was corner-hooked. With the cue ball trapped next to the corner pocket, the only angles available to Brad existed in a 60-degree arc. He surveyed his limited options and breathed a sigh of relief as this relatively straightforward bank shot presented itself. It was an awkward angle, but he knew he could cox the 3 ball into the opposite corner pocket. He took the shot, watching as the 3 ball rolled compliantly into its designated pocket. Unfortunately, the cue ball went with it, ending Brad's turn and placing the ball in the man's possession. Ah, stink. Brad could have sworn the man winked at him as he fished the cue ball out and lined up a simple shot on his side pocket. The 9 went in, then the 11, and the 12? Brad found himself taking it for granted that each strike ball would enter its designated pocket and instead focused on the cue ball. Somehow, the cue ball always wound up in a position that presented the oldster with the ideal chip shot. Ball after ball fell off the bed until finally only the black 8 ball and Brad's solids remained. Fortunately for Brad, the 8 ball and the cue ball were at opposite sides of the table, with several Brads in between. The man eventually gave up and settled for a defensive shot that put the cue ball behind the 8. Now the tables were turned. Brad was the one cut off from his balls. He lived for shots like this. He took the shot. The cue ball hit the 8 and the 8 hit the 1 and the 1 hit the 7, bouncing against the front of the table and into one of the side pockets. Brad couldn't help his smile. Things couldn't have gone better even if he'd planned them. Instinct and muscle memory did what his calculating mind couldn't. Now that the table was conveniently free of striped balls, Brad had no trouble sinking the remaining consecutive shots he needed to close out the game. As Brad lined up the final shot on the 8 ball, he studied the older guy. If the man was reacting, he couldn't tell. Brad closed his eyes as he completed the final stroke, as he always did. He wasn't really religious. He'd stopped going to church with his mom when he was 12, but it always felt right to leave the results of the game to God. Now, said the old man as the 8 ball fell into its pocket. Brad flinched. He'd been hoping for some praise from the man for winning the game. Perhaps it was all that the man was prepared to offer. Excuse me, said Brad, but I don't think we bothered to exchange names. I'm Brad. Thomas, the old man extended a hand. I've gotta say, said Brad, you're quite the player. I take it you're not from around here? No, said the man. I grew up in Brisbane, retired in Sydney. I'm just passing through. Brad nodded. I figured. I actually grew up in this neighborhood. Played on tables just like these when I was a kid, so I know most of the folks on the local competitive circuit. I guess someone like you would have to play competitively, huh? You don't pick up skills like that in a tiny pond. You'd be surprised, said Thomas. A man can accomplish quite a bit when given enough idle time. But you have played competitively, said Brad. I used to, yes, said Thomas. I actually formally retired many years ago, but kept the table at home for practice to keep my mind sharp. Where did you compete? Oh, I toured in England. Wait, said Brad. You were a pro? A pro makes a salary, said Thomas. I won enough to cover my travel expenses and to make up for the time I spent not working a real job. Brad couldn't hide his excitement. Wait, you said England. Did you ever play in the World Billiards Championship? Yep, said the old man. I played the WBC for a few years, but eventually I decided the title was a summit I'd never reach. So I quit. Wait, said Brad again. You said your name was Thomas. Are you... Thomas Walsh? Indeed I am, said Thomas. You're a legend! I think you might be overstating it, said Thomas. Even when I was at my prime, I wasn't the best. Results speak for themselves. Nah. You were finals for 6 years running. Nobody's ever been that consistent. Even the best pros who managed to run hot burn out after more than 2 or 3 years. Thomas sipped his beer. I've spent hundreds of hours watching your videos, said Brad. I didn't realize there were videos of me, said Thomas. I have tapes of the finals from 1967 and 1968, said Brad. They didn't record them before that, but your last 2 years got recorded for posterity. They're kind of rarities at this point, but I had a coach who had a vault of old footage. Coach? Thomas arched an eyebrow. Yeah, said Brad. You didn't have a coach? Thomas shook his head. We mostly just taught ourselves. And each other. Sometimes you got to practice with people better than you, but that was it. Well, I mostly taught myself, said Brad. But after I started winning some regionals, I joined a team so that I could get sponsored and have a group to train with. Interesting. Brad waited for Thomas to question further, but no question came, so he decided to continue with an invitation. I won the WBC in 2012. No luck since then, I take it, said Thomas. Brad stammered out. Well, yeah. He laughed, awkward. I've never been a consistent player. Not like you, anyway, he offered a sheepish grin. My mom had an album full of article clippings talking about me like I was some kind of prodigy, the next big thing. Now it feels like I'll forever be a footnote in history. Brad waited for the words of affirmation to come from his hero. Thomas just took another drink from his glass, finishing it off before setting it down next to Brad's empty bottles. Said Brad, feeling foolish. Can I get you a drink in exchange for another game? It would be a real pleasure. Sure, said Thomas. Get me a Guinness. Actually, make it 2. Brad sprinted down the stairs and returned several minutes later with a tray bearing 2 pints of Guinness. Thomas began setting up the table for the next game, Brad hovering over him. You know, said Brad, this place is pretty magical, getting to play a game of pool like this. He wasn't quite sure how to say it, but figured Thomas knew what he was getting at. I mean, this is the sort of place where anything can happen, you know. You know what I'm saying? Not anything, said Thomas. There are limits. Well, yeah, said Brad, but still, 2 former champs, one coming back from beyond the grave, so to speak. That's not the kind of encounter you'd expect to have anywhere else. Thomas looked at him. Magical indeed. When I walked up here, I didn't realize that you were... Well, he rubbed his chin. Let's just say I don't meet a lot of pool pros at bars. He took a sip of his beer. You want a break? Sure. I'm confused. Are you seeing the memories of the billiards table? I think so. I'm not 100% sure myself. When I clicked on the table, I wasn't expecting this giant novel to come out. Brad broke and with hands guided by instinct managed to sink 5 balls consecutively. Like magic, his shots always connected. Some people might buckle under pressure, but Brad's performance always seemed to rise to occasion. With just 2 strike balls left, Brad knew he was on a streak, but as he lined up his next shot, he took a moment to consider the position of the 8 ball. It was nestled in an awkward position behind Thomas's balls, but if he could clear a path to it while sinking the last strike... Brad looked at the sea of balls and knew there was no way for him to mentally calculate every vector, but instinct had gotten him this far, and he wasn't about to stop listening to it now. Brad took the shot, and the cue ball knocked the last strike ball into the corner pocket, and the cue ball bounced off the table, back towards Thomas's cluster of balls. Brad grinned in elation as the cue ball hit a solid, which hit another, and another, in a chain reaction that sent the 8 ball heading right toward the corner, just like he wanted. It was headed right towards the corner, where no balls to intercept it. It was headed right towards the corner, into the pocket. He stopped grinning. Brad knew with a growing dread that the friction of the cloth wouldn't be enough to stop the ball in time. He watched the impending disaster happen in slow motion, powerless to stop it. The game had been going so well. He'd been about to hit a perfect game in front of his childhood hero, and now he was going to lose it in the most inglorious way imaginable. An accidental, illegal combination shot. Brad closed his eyes, but not even God could help him now. He didn't need to see it. The sound of the ball plunking into the pocket was enough. He'd lost the game. Wait, that's it? Wait, what happened after that? You can't give me this kind of story and then just like stop right after you lost the game. What happened afterwards? How unfortunate that he lost the game. Oh, it's Billiards 1. So maybe there's more. Are they ghosts? That's the end. He lost the game. There might be a follow-up. There might end up being a follow-up. And which also means I need to mentally prepare for it to be another long one. Okay, delicate operation. Why do you need more info besides that? It feels like an incomplete story now. Like, are you not invested in their meeting now? Are they ghosts? I think at least one of them is a ghost. It was hinted that at least one of them is a ghost. Ashley stepped behind the counter and winced as the floor creaked under her feet. Maddie was nowhere to be seen, but Maddie did possess a remarkably sharp sense of hearing. Luckily, the cafe was empty as Ashley tiptoed to the case where Maddie kept the baked goods. Oh no, Ashley lifted the glass lid off the case and closed her eyes as the scent of yesterday's lamingtons wafted up and overwhelmed her. Ashley had spent most of her life convinced that she didn't like coconuts, but that had changed the day that Che introduced her to lamingtons. To be fair, Ashley still wasn't sure that she actually liked coconut. Chocolate frosting could make anything taste good, but she couldn't deny the cake's irresistible allure. Ashley lifted a lamington from the case and gently set the lid back down. She raised the lamington to her lips and opened her mouth to take a bite. Ashley? In a moment of panic, Ashley shoved the pastry into her mouth and sealed her lips. Her mouth was quickly overwhelmed by the pastry's thick frosting covering, and she did her best to choke it down before turning to face Maddie. Said Ashley, hoping that her cheeks didn't betray what was inside. Ah, good, you're here, said Maddie. It was a bad sign anytime Maddie expressed pleasure at seeing Ashley. Normally, Maddie wavered between being annoyed by Ashley's presence and being indifferently tolerant of her. Anytime Maddie was happy to see Ashley, it meant work. I need you to deliver something to Che for me, said Maddie, turning to the counter to pick up a small bottle of something. As Maddie turned her attention to the bottle, Ashley took advantage of her momentary distraction to gulp down the remainder of the pastry. No time to chew, but her teeth wouldn't have done much good with the thick frosting. You're not busy, are you? Said Maddie. Ashley shook her head no. The pastry was no longer inside her mouth to create a conspicuous bulge of cheeks, but opening her mouth would reveal the thick chocolate frosting that was still probably present on her teeth, so she kept her lips sealed. Good, said Maddie. He's upstairs. Get this to him ASAP. She handed the bottle to Ashley, and Ashley found herself surprised by how light the bottle was. Looking down, she could see that the bottle had thin walls. Within those thin walls, it contained some clear liquid, and its seal was held in place with a metal clamp, hermetically sealed. Ashley turned towards the stairs, holding the neck of the bottle in one hand, and let out a sigh. One last thing. Ashley swallowed her sigh with a gulp and closed her mouth before facing Maddie, lips tightly shut. Be careful not to drop it, said Maddie. Thousands could die if you spill any of it. In any other situation, Ashley would have asked Maddie a probing question to figure out what was in the bottle, or get some idea of the significance of the task that had been assigned to her. Significant enough that thousands of lives held in the balance, but apparently not important enough for Maddie to do it herself. But Ashley's lips remained sealed, and she merely nodded and turned around. Lamingtons were not meant to be consumed in a single bite, especially by mouths as small as Ashley's, and the thickness of the frosting that lingered in her mouth and her throat made her desperate to ask for some kind of drink, but she dared not ask for one. Ashley looked down at the bottle, unsure of the best way to carry it. The bottle was slightly too large for her to hold in just one hand, and grasping in front of her with two hands felt awkward. The bottle wasn't heavy, but Ashley's confidence in her ability to carry the bottle without dropping it was less than perfect. Should she cradle it with her arm protectively? No, that seemed like it put her at greater risk of fumbling the bottle. The crook of her elbow wasn't as dexterous as her fingertips. She settled for carrying the bottle with one hand placed under the bottom to hold the weight and the other hand wrapped around the neck to steady it. Ashley walked slowly with the bottle as she ascended the stairs. Maddie hadn't told her that the liquid was volatile and the bottle was hermetically sealed, so there was zero chance of anything spilling out, but that didn't change the sense of trepidation Ashley felt. Armed with the knowledge that there were potentially thousands of lives at stake, she cringed every time she saw the liquid sloshing inside the bottle, leaping up and lapping at the edge of the seal. Ashley realized her arms were shaking and pressed the bottle against her chest, hoping to steady it. As Ashley's hands shook nervously with the bottle held against her chest, she wondered if the large amount of sugar she had just forced down her throat had something to do with the shaking. Oh, sugar rush. It was more likely that her shaking was the result of being told that thousands of lives could be lost if she dropped the bottle. Still, the lingering taste of the pastry in her mouth didn't help. Ashley silently lamented the fact that she had been forced to consume the lamington so abruptly. Lamingtons were a treat to be savored, not shoved into one's mouth in a moment of panic. She hadn't even the chance to properly enjoy it. It was hard to simultaneously feel the pleasure of a tasty treat and the panic of being caught. Whatever the outcome of this errand, she had wasted a wonderful pastry. Several agonizing minutes later, Ashley arrived at the top of the stairs and spotted Che standing at the handrail. As she walked up, Che turned to face her and she presented him with the bottle. Ashley cleared her throat for any lingering stickiness before speaking. Maddie said you needed this. Ah, good, said Che. I was running low. Ashley gasped with relief as Che took the bottle from her and started taking deep, labored breaths, suddenly becoming aware of how high her heart rate was. Che popped open the seal on the bottle, then splashed some of it onto a rag. Several drops dripped onto the floor, and Ashley let out a terrified squeak. Something wrong? Said Che. Maddie said that thousands of lives could be destroyed by what's in that bottle. Well, that's the idea, said Che as he folded the rag and ran it along the railing that overlooked the cafe's ground level. This is supposed to kill 99.59% of all bacteria. That still leaves hundreds of bacteria alive, but I try not to think too hard about that part. Ashley's jaw dropped. It's disinfectant? Yeah, said Che. Why, did Maddie not tell you? Ashley's shoulders slumped in a mix of relief and exasperation. She only told me that it could kill thousands. And you didn't ask what she meant by that? No, said Ashley. I was preoccupied. Huh, said Che. He turned his attention back to the railing, inspecting it for a moment before continuing to wipe it. Ashley turned to head back downstairs. By the way, Ashley. Ashley turned to face Che. He reached out and placed a finger on her shirt, wiping off a bit of frosting. He raised it to his finger and smelled it. Chocolate, he said. Yes, said Ashley. One of Maddie's lamingtons? Yes, said Ashley. Che nodded and licked the frosting off his finger. Go downstairs and bring one up for me too, will ya? That's cute. Okay. Where's the continue here? Maddie's inbox. Okay. So what's this? Where do we go downstairs from here? No, that is the stairs. It's blocked off. Is it blocked off? Washing, cleaning, and product. I can't go downstairs. Okay, Maddie's inbox. I guess we're gonna find out what's here. From Jeanette Annette. Subject, Spirit Beacon leaking. Hi, Madeline. This is Jeanette from the location down by the docks. I believe we met in person for the first time last month. I was opening up this morning and noticed that most of our spirit juice was gone. I checked the map and saw that you're the nearest location with a spirit beacon. I think you may have drained some of our supply. Honest mistake, I'm sure. But if you could stop running your spirit beacon during peak hours, that would be much appreciated. Thanks, and looking forward to working with you in the future. Hi Madeline, I hope you got my previous message. Just wanted to give you an update on the spirit juice situation over here. I had several bottles that I marked last night just to confirm the issue, and when I got in this morning, the levels were below where I marked them. We're definitely losing spirit juice, and you're the only spirit beacon close enough to be affecting us. Please modulate your use to reasonable levels. I don't think this should be a problem as you're not running your beacon overnight. Again, not trying to assign blame here, but please be considerate to folks at other locations. Thanks. Madeline, we are draining spirit juice over here so fast that if I sit and watch, I can see it disappearing from the bottle. You're the only spirit beacon that is even remotely close to where we are, so we really need you to stop. If it's affecting us, then it's probably affecting other locations. This is completely unacceptable. Fix this now. Hey Madeline, care to explain why you weren't at the terminal today when I showed up? I spoke with a girl named Ashley who said you decided to take the day off. What a coincidence. I was not impressed by the crying routine you had her do. Honestly, she should be ashamed of using a child's fake tears to try and hide from a situation that you caused. Turn off your beacon. I don't want to be the bad guy here, but if you don't do something, I'm going to have to get the council involved. Oh. Misplaced cutlery. Hi Maddie, this is Clance from the docks location. Just wanted to give you a heads up. This morning we found out that the site manager we recently hired, I believe you met Jeanette last month, was leaving spirit juice in... Oh? I'll give you a heads up. This morning we found out that the site manager we recently hired was leaving spirit juice in untempered glass bottles, and we had a bit of a leak. We ended up having a bit of a problem with some animated cutlery. We have the situation under control over here, and we're mostly sure everything's accounted for on our end. Unfortunately, this started happening about a week ago, which might be enough for something to wander off far enough that we wouldn't be able to detect it. Very unlikely that this happened, but just wanted to give you a heads up in case a possessed steak knife wandered off far enough to find your beacon and decides to pay you a visit. Sorry about the situation. Rest assured that the person responsible for this won't have any opportunities to mess up anything of this magnitude again. By the way, are you planning on going to M's birthday next month? Regards, Clance. Hi Clance, sorry I missed your message earlier. I no longer use this address. Please use contact@terminalvelocity.org for anything related to terminal business. Oh, that's why you weren't responding to your emails. Hope you enjoyed M's birthday party. I don't remember why I couldn't attend, but I'm sure it was a good reason. Maddie. Animated steak knives? They did mention that, I think Che did mention that they were missing cutlery for some reason. So maybe that's what happened to it? Huh, interesting. Okay. Oh. You're overdue this week, said Ned. He tapped the list of rules that Maddie kept posted by the door. This 24-hour rule, are you sure you've been enforcing it? I think I know how we run things around here is none of your business, said Maddie. Actually, it absolutely is my business, said Ned. In fact, keeping the rules is basically my only business. That's kind of what the word enforcer means. I'm supposed to scold you for breaking the rules. So, audit me. Fine, said Ned. Let me check your ledger. We don't keep a ledger, said Maddie. Maybe you should, said Ned. Lots of places do. It's a great system. You have someone stand at the door and have them mark down whenever someone comes in or leaves. Then you forcibly evict people who are overstaying their welcome. I'm amazed that you don't have a system like that in place. Some people overstay their welcome, some people understay it, said Che. There's no need to strictly keep track of how long people stay, right? Just maintain the balance. You're right, said Ned. All that matters is maintaining the balance. So maintain the balance, because when you don't, then we have a problem. We're a bit short-staffed to have someone acting as a full-time doorman, said Maddie. Figure it out, said Ned. He tapped the board listing and rules. Change 24 hours to 23 hours. When you say 24 hours, people think you just colloquate. I don't actually know how to pronounce this. It's also 1 a.m. Almost 1 a.m. Colloquially mean one day and they don't pay attention to the specific time? When you say 23 hours, people actually have to keep track of what time it is. That would be fine, said Che, except for the part where you're cutting time off people's day. Trust me, said Ned. Anyone who would go right up to the limit is probably going to go over it. Colloquially. Thanks, Elaine. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but okay. 23 hours is going to mean 23 hours, plus an extra 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half hour, plus however long it takes to finish their drink. And if they leave in less than 24 hours, who gives up? I give up, said Che. You're right, you should give up, said Ned. In fact, you should celebrate whenever you manage to scooch someone out here in under 24 hours, because the balance is upset and you've got to correct it. You can either correct the balance 1 hour at a time, or the council can come in here and repossess some souls. Or we can find someone who knows how to manage this property responsibly. He turned to Che. Come on, buddy. I don't want to have to take this place away from you. That would be quite the escalation, said Maddie. Well, you're already on the first level of escalation, which is a stern talking to, said Ned. Let's try not to escalate it any further. Che sighed. Well, Maddie cut him off. We'll change the rule to 23 hours. Okay? Buzz off. Wow, really? Said Ned. Well, okay then. And while you're rewriting signs, you should also take the green tea frappuccino off the... Fraps should be for coffee, not tea. How dare you! Done, said Maddie. Wait, really? Said Ned. Dang, I didn't realize you were so open to feedback. Also, that caramel, we'll take it under advisement, said Maddie, placing a hand on Ned's chest and physically pushing him towards the door. Hold up, said Ned. What are you doing? Removing an unwanted guest, said Maddie. I need to practice if we're going to start enforcing those rules you care so much about. Oh, it's qui, not Q. Colloquially. I feel like that still feels a little bit awkward, but okay. Now said Ned as he continued backpedaling to stay upright. Look, you could just... Bye, said Maddie as Ned crossed the threshold of the cafe and Maddie shut the door in his face. She turned around, leaning her back against the door and sighed. Che raised an eyebrow. You're serious about the rule change? Yeah, said Maddie. I'll change the sign on the menu after we close tonight. Wait, really? The rule change is just to keep him off our back, said Maddie. And the menu thing? I've been meaning to take that off anyway, said Maddie. It's the kind of menu item that attracts the worst sort of people. Well, okay, said Che, though I do think we should change the rule back to 24 hours after things have had enough time to balance out. Of course, said Maddie. Wouldn't want to upset the balance too far in the opposite direction. What would we do with all that extra time anyway? Oh! I can go downstairs now, yay! Okay, that's Ashley's journal, that's... Oh, doodle mode. What is doodle mode? Google is saying colloquially. Colloquially. Oh, okay. In doodle mode, you can draw a face for each Ashling. Whenever an Ashling appears throughout the game, you'll be able to see your artistic masterpiece. Oh, Kepler! That's what your name is! Jacoby, Kepler, and Loveless. Yeah! I don't remember what I thought about your name. I remember I was thinking, oh, that's an interesting name because I don't remember what it was anymore. Kepler! Jacoby, Kepler, Loveless. Okay, I'll try and remember that. Do you need faces on you? I kind of think you're okay. Oh, they put me back upstairs. Let me go back down. Okay, that's still on anything new down here? Oh, Judgment. Chase collection. Okay. Chase sat in the corner of the cafe with the book in his lap. His eyes danced over the page for several moments, the words on the page illuminated by the candle that sat perched on the armrest of his chair. Then, after several moments passed, he turned the page. He hadn't actually internalized any of the text on the page, nor had he taken in any of the text on the 50 preceding pages. He was vaguely aware of the fact that the book kept on referring to a man named Henry, who Che presumed was the protagonist of the book he had in his lap, but beyond that he knew little to nothing. Che didn't particularly mind this fact. In fact, if he started actually following the story that was told in the pages of this book, he would consider it a great failure. Che enjoyed sitting down with the book. He enjoyed the platonic ideal of reading. But when it came to telling stories, he found books to be a poor substitute for a person sitting next to him. He didn't pick up books when he wanted to be told a story. He picked up books when he wanted to be alone, to situate comfy chair and bask in candlelight and sit silently in a meditative state. He turned another page. "Hey," said a familiar voice, interrupting him. "I'm in the middle of a book, Ned," said Che. "If you hadn't noticed." That was the book's secondary function. It deterred people who might see a man sitting alone and seize upon the opportunity to start a conversation when he was not in the mood for conversation. "Is it a good book?" said Ned. "I was enjoying being alone with it," said Che. "Yeah, you looked really engrossed. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've got a favor to ask." "Why is it always a favor?" said Che, looking past Ned and speaking to no one in particular, even though there was no one but Ned near enough to hear him speak. "Why is it never—" "Hey, Che, I just wanted to stop by to offer you a favor." "I did that one time," said Ned. "You said you were busy, which I figured was your way of politely saying, 'Please don't bother me with this kind of visit,' so I stopped." "Did you?" "I don't remember it." "I'm sure you remember it," said Ned. "It was from back before you started forgetting things. Sometime around... when did the war start?" "You're going to have to be a lot more specific," said Che. "You know, the war with the soldiers and the guns." "Ah, that war," said Che. "I did narrow it down a bit, didn't I?" "I'm not that old," said Che. "Wars were fought with guns even when I was a young man. Same for you." "Did they?" "Well, it was the war with the... Ned trailed off. He raised a hand to his face and flicked his helmet, mimicking the unmistakable ping of an "Am I Garand?" "World War II? Which one was that?" "One with the Nazis," said Che. That sounds about right," said Ned. "Anyway, I came to ask a favor." "I hope that favor was spend a few minutes of your time having an inane conversation, but we already did that," said Che. "My, but you're snippy today," said Ned. "What's gotten into you?" Che held up the book. "A good book is what's gotten into me." "Sorry," said Ned. "I wouldn't ask if it wasn't urgent. I'm in need of an interpreter. You speak Cantonese, right?" "Yes," said Che. "Great," said Ned. "Can I steal you for a few hours?" "Not if it's going to be an interpreter." "Not if it's to be an interpreter," said Che. "Why not? You speak Cantonese, and you seem fluent enough in English, so why wouldn't you say no specifically to translating?" "Being an interpreter is not as simple as being bilingual, Ned." "Isn't it? I figured you hear things in one language and say them in another. Seems simple to me." Are you illiterate?" "Are you literate?" said Che. "A bit." Can you write a work of great literature? Said Che. Nope, said Ned. Well, there you go, said Che. There's more to translating than being bilingual. Oh, come on, said Ned. I'm in a pinch. I'm not asking you to be a great interpreter, just an adequate one. There's lots of bilingual people around, said Che. I'm sure you know other places to ask. Yeah, but, you know, I know you're not the kind of person to spill secrets, said Ned. And it's the kind of conversation I just want to be between me and one other person, you know? Great, said Che. Sounds like you need a professional interpreter. I hear they're great at facilitating those kinds of interactions. Come on, said Ned. What can a professional interpreter do that you can't? A lot of things, said Che. For one, a professional interpreter is someone you can count on to allow you to use their mouth to say incredibly stupid things without letting you or other counterparty know just how stupid they find the interaction. Funny that, said Ned. I always figured that's the kind of thing you'd be good at. Because I'm so good at holding my tongue? Yes. I've tried before, said Che, kicking up his feet. Being an interpreter pays well if you find yourself working for the right people and leaves your hands a lot less calloused than some of the work I found myself doing instead. But you'll notice my hands have calluses. Turns out holding your tongue is oftentimes harder than digging holes. Come on, you know how to be a diplomat, said Ned. There, that was me being undiplomatic. Now would you kindly find another solution to your problem, one that doesn't involve me performing a task that I've told you at least twice now that I'm not going to do? Ned started to say something, but stopped just short of making an utterance and backed off. Hey, Maddie! Ned shouted. No, Maddie replied. I haven't even asked you for anything yet, said Ned. I know, I thought I would save you the time, said Maddie. Ned sighed. What is it with you people? Maddie turned toward Ned and glowered at him. You people? Ned raised his hands defensively. I didn't mean... Look, I just mean that you two... birds of a feather in quite a few ways. Maddie stared at him and Ned contemplated whether there was any way for him to make a statement grouping Maddie and Shay together without making himself look worse than he already did. He sighed in frustration. You know what your problem is? Yes, said Maddie. I know him quite well. And he's standing right in front of me. I'm confused. I think I can probably do one more episode. Day 2. Rise and shine. Don't wanna. You shouldn't waste your last hours on Earth sleeping. Man, I was hoping that I was having a really long, weird dream. Sorry, no such luck. I'm still having trouble getting my head around it. I totally understand. Want a coffee? Yeah, just something simple. Hipster coffee coming right up. What's going on downstairs? I didn't even know you had it downstairs. There's more to this place than meets the eye. Maddie's down there desperately trying to fix our debt situation. Sounds like she's hosting a cage match or something. Well, not exactly, but she's mentioned wanting to do that. There's some wrestler called the Red Comet that she wouldn't stop talking about for a while. And then, because of that, Ashley got obsessed with wrestling for a bit and then kept trying to suplex me. Did she manage to? She's tiny. A couple of times. It was very humiliating, I can imagine. But to properly answer your question, Maddie is running a gambling ring. Stairs? All by herself? It's a fairly unconventional one. And by unconventional, you mean... mortals generally aren't involved. The stakes are higher than usual. Oh. Coffee's ready. Come over and get it. They gamble for time, among other things. You don't sound like you're a huge fan of the idea. I'm not. It's undignified. I mean, as long as Maddie's not in danger, shouldn't it be fine? The council doesn't like it. They turn a blind eye because we don't cause trouble otherwise, but I'd rather not have to worry about bad things coming our way. Because Maddie refuses to approach the problem from a different angle. And by the problem, you mean the debt, yeah? I was pretty drunk, but I think I remember Maddie storming off after Ned turned up. Yes, I'm a bit worried about her. Wish I could help. Y'all seem pretty nice. The thought's appreciated. Maddie will figure it out eventually, though, I'm sure. She just needs time. Hey, thanks for the coffee, by the way. I just realized you haven't actually made me pay for a bunch of them. How'd you expect to pay for them? Oh, right. Yep, no cash. If I were feeling particularly capricious, I'd ask you to pay in time, but you're a nice kid, and you need every minute you've got. You want to head downstairs? I can see your eyes darting to the stairs. I'm not going down, but I'm also not gonna stop you. Yeah, if that's okay. Go on then, I'll stick around up here. Catch you in a bit. The stairs that led down to the basement were solid and well-worn, with smooth ruts on each step and a handrail that had been polished to a silky sheen through years of use. Kishan had always liked stairwells. People never lingered in them for long, and he found them to be a great place to catch a breather. He wasn't obsessed with them. That'd be weird, but he definitely appreciated a nice set of stairs. On further reflection, it was probably a little weird. Downstairs, Maddie's audience clamored for blood. From you to me. With the understanding that your remaining moments on this plane are limited, you surrender this time freely without coercion. As agreed? Contract fulfilled. You're free to go. Phew. That's 3 in a row, you bloodthirsty... The crowd cheered. Maddie was clearly an expert at winding them up into a frenzy. Who's next? The room fell dead silent. Come on, isn't anyone here brave enough to challenge me? I thought you came here to play with knives, you pansies. Seriously, anyone? Don't hold out on me. Do I need to pick someone out from the crowd then? Is this what we've come to? Maddie's gaze swept the audience. Kishan! Good to see you upright. Interested in a game of skill? Me? Yes, you. Oh, sure? Give me some enthusiasm, my man. Sure. What's the game? 5-finger fillet? Some of the people in here just call it the knife game. You heard of it? Oh, finally, something I'm good at. You've got a lot of knives in this place. Tell me about it. This thing has a good weight up to it. Of course, wouldn't make you compete with an inferior tool. What? Sorry, I was waiting for you to seg into calling me an inferior tool. Calling me an inferior tool. That was low-hanging fruit, wasn't it? Next time, mate. Sure. Kishan did another experimental slash, and this time made an audible whoosh. The spectators oohed and awed, but this wasn't for them. He knew that he only had one shot to get accustomed to the blade. You done showing off? Nothing wrong with putting on a little show. Sounds like you're stalling for time. Getting cold feet, perhaps? Shh, not a chance. Let's get started then. You know what you're wagering? Che mentioned something about you gambling with time. It's not gambling if it's a game of skill. But that's besides the point. We're both wagering 4 hours. If you win, it comes from the cafe's balance. If I win, it comes from yours. You've got around 16 hours left in case you weren't keeping track. Only that many? Want a little extra time to play with them? Yes. Let's stop wasting it and get this over with. You sure you know what you're getting into? Most people are pretty shy about playing with the time they have left, especially when their tank's running as empty as yours. Yep. Come on. Unless you're getting cold feet. Hardly. You've got 30 seconds. Smack the timer when you're ready. Crowd cheered and Kishan fed off their enthusiasm. In response, Maddie leaned back and tapped her fingers on the table, feigning impatience. He met her eyes, grinned, and continued his performance. His stabbing motion got faster as he went, the point narrowly missing each of his fingers. Stabs, strong enough to drive a knife a millimeter or two into the table, were good if you wanted to put on a show. And, of course, giving the spectators a show was part of the fun. You might be going fast enough to put on a show, but you're not going fast enough to win. How'd I do? 16 sets if I counted correctly. Whoa. Couldn't do 16. That's how many Maddie beat me with. Is she gonna lose? Nah, she's gonna kick his arse. Feeling good about the result? I certainly am. Radio then. Watch closely. Oh, I will. 16. 1, 3, 7, 11, 15. Told ya, she's unbeatable. Is it magic? She could cheat if she wanted to. Definitely not, she's just that good. Poor guy, he didn't know what he was getting into. Sorry, mate. You beat me fair and square. I'm pretty impressed. I aim to please. I'll be taking those hours now if you don't mind. Yeah, sure. How does this work? Just like this. You won't feel a thing. Kishan felt a brief tightness in his chest, and for just a moment the tip of Maddie's fingers burned white hot. Ow! Sorry, I lied. It's done now, though. Alright, does anyone else dare to compete with me? Come on, looking for some actual decent opposition here. I'll take any challenge, even if it's chess or something. Any challenge? I challenge you to get everyone a drink. Rounds on me. Oh, Che. I didn't realize you were watching. There wasn't anything happening upstairs and I got bored. Right. So, you took some hours from Kishan, huh? Yeah, I did. Do you feel good about that? Che, do you? I won them fair and square. He didn't know what he was getting into. There's an obvious power imbalance here that you're exploiting. He knew the rules. That doesn't change anything. You led him to believe that he'd get some extra time. And, barring a miracle on his part, that absolutely wasn't going to happen. Doesn't matter. He was just passing through. A couple hours won't make any difference. Maddie, I'm disappointed in you. Our patrons respect us. We need to earn that respect by treating them with respect ourselves. This is not respectful or dignified. Cheating vulnerable pass-throughs out of their time, we're above that. We're better than that. I don't care whether you think it's dishonest or not. I want you to give that poor man his time back. Don't pout, this is serious. I feel like a broken record saying this, but while I understand your intentions are good, you can't keep doing these things. It's all for you. If you really want to do this for me, find another way. This isn't worth it, Maddie. It breaks my heart to see you like this, and I know that you're trying your hardest. But this really, truly is not worth sacrificing your own self-respect over. Everyone here respects you, but you gambling with hours just cheapens that. I'll give the hours back. Shame, I was pretty great with a knife. Still not as good as me. I was pretty close. Well, I got an achievement set that said you shouldn't waste your last hours on Earth sleeping. Oh, Loveless. Yes? What form did you have before being reborn? Hmm. I think I was a crab. Come on, I'm being serious. Ashley wouldn't harvest spirit liquid from a crab. You're assuming an awful lot about how squeamish she is. As far as I can remember, I lived above streets, next to the sky. So, a bird then? Wings and feathers and such? No, not that. I do remember flying, though. Oh, were you a sugar glider? Describe? Did you eat insects and tree sap and flower nectar? That is familiar. Wonder how Ashley found you then. Could have been anything, really. You mentioned bright lights earlier. Oof. Yeah, I'm thinking you got hit by a car. That seems likely? Is that bad? I mean, you're here now, so... whether you like it or not. Shut up. I am still adjusting. Look at you turning into a responsible human being. Studio mode is now available. You can now speak to Keishan to access studio mode. Oh. Does that mean you'll be sticking around for at least a good part of this game? Oh, Ashley's journal too. Fisherman 3? Have you even gotten to Fisherman 1? Rotten Pop. Wandering Spirit. Okay, how do I want to deal with this? Okay, I'm gonna go through some of these excerpts, but I will be right back first. I'm back. I don't know how I feel about the robot interludes. Yeah, they're cute, but I'm not really sure how much they really add to the story aside from kind of giving a little bit of background to some intricacies to this place. Kishan was in the opening MV, I think. Yeah, I remember that too. But according to the last episode, he only has about 16 hours left, so either he somehow gets more time, or the game mostly takes place in one day. Okay. Let's do Beth 1. Let's go, little girl. The man standing in front of Beth smirked. The knife he held seemed almost slight compared to his massive hands, but that didn't make it any less intimidating. Finish this one quick, came a call from behind the knife holder. 3 men stood behind him, wearing expressions which ranged from amused to bored. Beth felt her palm getting sweaty and loosened her grip on the knife in her right hand, sliding her thumb along the guard to reassure herself that its shape hadn't changed since the moment she'd picked it up. Take your friend's advice, Beth said to the man who was menacing her. Finish this quick. After all, I'm just a little girl. Well, as little as any 15-year-old girl could be. Can do, said the man, and he drew his knife up for an overhead swing. The man's movement suggested that he didn't know how to use a knife. Not really. He was swinging the knife like he'd swing a fist, like he was trying to bludgeon her with it, like he'd never really used a knife before. He was stupid. Mercifully stupid. She tried to reassure herself of that fact, trying not to lose her resolve. He lunged towards her as he brought the knife down, and Beth raised her left arm. She felt the edge of the knife hit her skin, but the impact of the blow caused the man to lose his grip on the knife. An opening. Beth grabbed the attacker's knife arm and pulled him towards her while thrusting her own knife towards him at chest level. She drove the knife into the man's chest with all the force she could muster, and he fell to the ground and gasped as Beth released her grip on him. The man lay on the ground and put a hand to his chest, moaning. Doing okay down there? Said Beth. The man sat up and patted his chest. I didn't expect to lose to a girl? No, said the man. Well, that too, but I didn't expect it to hurt this much. These rubber practice knives are no joke, said Beth. Oh, it's rubber. I'm like, are you okay? If I'd stabbed any harder, I might have broken a rib. The man stood up. You got a name, girl? You can call me Beth, she said, extending a hand. He shook it with a look of hesitation. I'm Kyle. I've got to say, Beth, that was kind of a cheap trick. How do you mean? Said Beth. I mean the way you blocked my knife with your arm. It just bounced right off. You couldn't do that if we were using real knives. He's right, said one of the spectators. Not really a fair fight with rubber knives. I'd like a rematch, said Kyle. Yeah, said one of the spectators. Rematch. Others began chanting along with him. Rematch, rematch, rematch. Voice thundered from above. I thought I told you guys to keep it down. Everyone spun around to face the stairs leading up to the ground floor. Maddie was leaning over the rails of the staircase with a stern look on her face. She tapped the poster on the wall. Beth took a moment to glance at the sign. Fight Club rules. Don't quote Tyler Durden. Seriously, no Tyler Durden quotes. Who's Tyler Durden? Always assume your opponent is mortal. Practice weapons only. Be considerate to other guests. Keep noise to a reasonable level. We don't have any rules here, said Maddie. Please don't make me kick you out of the basement. Everyone else in the room cast their gaze downward, looking ashamed, with several mumbled apologies. Maddie nodded and climbed back up the stairs, content that she had made her point. Seriously though, said Kyle. Not really a fair fight without real knives. Beth walked over to the edge of the room and lifted a rug, revealing 2 steak knives. Several whispers erupted from the small crowd. Where'd you get these? Said Kyle. I swiped them from upstairs. More of our missing cutlery! Said Beth. Sorry. I swiped them from upstairs, said Beth. They're not exactly combat gear, but these blades are fit to cut through flesh, whether it's a cooked steak or a human arm. Beth held one of the steak knives by the blade, presenting its handle to Kyle. I've already broken one rule tonight. How about breaking another one? I won't get hurt, said Kyle. I mean, I can still feel the pain, but, you know, I'm not afraid of getting stabbed. Neither am I, said Beth, but don't say you're ready for this if you're not ready to bleed. She turned the knife over in her hands, pressing her thumb against the tip, just enough to draw a single drop of blood. I assume it's the guy from the movie Fight Club. I am not cultured enough to actually have watched the Fight Club, so I have no idea what that means still. I will assume that it is from a movie though. Thank you. Cal grinned. Do I look like I would be here if I was afraid to die? Oh, that's it. That's it? That's why this is Beth 1. Okay, let's look at the wandering spirit. Kishan's footsteps echoed in a way that startled him. Were his footsteps always so loud? Perhaps it was just a contrast with the surrounding environment, which seemed completely silent, that made his footfalls seem so jarringly loud as he walked along the catwalk. He was on a catwalk. Why was he on a catwalk? There seemed to be a gaping space below him filled with some sort of mist that he couldn't see through. It was fog-like, and yet, despite the fog that lapped at his feet, the air felt so dry. The air was thick here. As he breathed heavily, Kishan felt an overwhelming sweet sickly odor, like the smell of wet or rotting wood, but all he could see around him were steel beams and a concrete path in front of him. Was it rust he was smelling? No, he knew the smell of rust. This was different. The smell was somehow organic, like the smell of the forest after a fresh rainfall. Kishan shivered. Far in the distance he could see what looked like a building of sorts, so far away that it made the structure he was inside feel almost tunnel-like, as if its only purpose was to convey him to that distant building. He continued walking forward, but as he walked, the building seemed to be growing more and more distant. He quickened his pace, and as he walked faster, he could feel himself moving through the thick, stifling air, yet as he looked down, he could see the texture of the catwalk in front of him unchanged, as though he were walking in place. Kishan started to turn backward, but saw only a blinding light. His eyes immediately shut, and when he opened them, he was again facing into the tunnel with the distant building at the center of his field of view. He tried turning around, but every time he tried to turn his head, his eyes involuntarily shut at the sight of the light, and he was forced to close his eyes or look away, always confronted again with the sight of the small hut when he opened his eyes. His heart pounded violently inside his chest. The tunnel was so quiet that he could hear his own heartbeat, feel his own pulse inside of his head. Something about this place felt deeply, incredibly wrong. Get back. I have to get back. He tried turning around again, and this time found himself unable to even begin rotating his body before his eyes snapped shut, placing him again in a world of darkness until he opened them again, and was confronted with the sight of the small hut in the distance, now looking more far away than ever. I have to get back. Kishan kept facing the building and took a step backwards. As he placed his foot on the ground, he felt a gust of wind knock him forward. He let out a yelp of terror. Instinctively, his hands reached for the opposite edges of the catwalk as he fell, trying to steady himself for fear of falling off. The catwalk was wide enough that his body didn't land close enough to the edge for that to have been a risk, and yet as he looked towards the edge, he felt a growing sense of dread that there was something down there that could capture him if he allowed it to catch even the smallest hold of him. Almost as he thought it, he felt the sensation of something pressing against his legs. He stumbled to his feet. He ran forward. The hut ahead of him seemed to grow no closer as he ran, but he ran all the same, running not to reach a destination, but to be away from whatever it was that was behind him. Moments ago, his only thought was an overwhelming desire to turn back, a worry that he was somehow trapped in here. But now that worry was replaced with an overwhelming sense of dread that propelled him forward. He had been pushed forward by something. Something was behind him. Kishan leaned forward and ran. He was no runner. He often found himself winded when forced to climb more than one flight of stairs, and yet he ran and felt no sense of tiredness holding him back, no need to catch his breath. Maybe it was the thick air here that somehow never allowed him to run out of breath. Maybe it was that the fear of whatever it was behind him was that strong. Kishan felt the air stinging at his eyes as he ran. By now he was running so fast that the thick air felt like a hot wind on his face. Tears began running down his face, but he couldn't find it in him to raise a hand to wipe at his eyes. That would mean slowing his sprint. So he closed his eyes, fully aware that he was running down a catwalk that had no handrail on either side. At this point, he didn't care. He ran and ran. Long after the tears on his face had dried, Kishan realized that he could hear only the sound of his own feet as they struck the catwalk. He couldn't even hear the rush of wind, even as it seemed to buffet his face. There was no sounds of anyone or anything pursuing him. Perhaps there was no pursuer at all. He allowed himself to open his eyes and look down. He looked over his shoulder. This time, there was no blinding light, only a distant glow, like the light at the end of a long tunnel. In a way, it was the light at the end of a long tunnel, and in observing the dim glow of the distant light, I think it was supposed to be glow of the distant light, Kishan suddenly realized just how far he had run. He turned around and saw the building right in front of him. It had windows that were covered in the same fog that covered the ground around him. Kishan reached for the door handle. He half expected it to be locked and felt a moment of panic as the handle bowed under the pressure of his hand. Was he ready to face whatever was on the other side of the door? Did he even want to enter? Did he have a choice? What was it that awaited him inside of this building? Answers or more baffling questions? Kishan looked down the tunnel and suddenly felt cold. Whatever this place was, he needed to escape it. And the only form of egress that seemed available to him was the door off this building. He leaned on the handle and felt the door swing open. Wait! What happened? What happened? Neh? Or is this how he ended up at the cafe? Is that what happened? This doesn't even say it's part 1, so this is what happened. Oh, and then it's... Oh, and then this heads up to the terminal, and then this goes to the cellar, apparently. Okay, okay, there are a few other things going around this area, so let's try and take a look here. Maybe the dead body he's already dead! He's the person that we've been talking to at the cafe. Also, I think that I think about it, it makes more sense for the chat to be down here. Battle Royale Robots Power Rankings. Alpha Charlie Echo. All of the commentators call this robot Ace, probably because it's so good. It seems biased for them to call one particular robot Ace, but it's obvious how it got its name when it wins all the time. At first it looks like this bot doesn't have a weapon and it's just designed to be really fast and agile. Then you realize that its entire body is a weapon for ramming into unsuspecting people. This would be a great tactic if you got into a fight when you didn't have a weapon. You don't need a flamethrower or a buzz if you just have a 150-kilogram body and can ram into people really fast. That's true! This probably wouldn't work very well for me because I don't weigh 150 kilograms and I'm pretty small. But that isn't a problem since I usually carry things that can be used as weapons. Like, I could carry a crowbar and then if someone tried to attack me, I could take the L end and jam the crowbar under their feet, and then pull it up and use them to knock them off balance even though I'm probably smaller than most people. I'm not sure why it's all named Alpha Charlie Echo. I assumed it was a remake or made in the style of a bot called Alpha Charlie, but there aren't any other bots by that name, and the team that made it are all rookies. Also, none of them are named Charlie. Maybe it's named after someone's dad or brother. Their next robot will probably be called Beta Charlie Echo, or maybe Alpha V2 Charlie Echo, or Final _Final 2 Charlie Echo. I see. So what that means is there are dead bodies everywhere, probably. Okay, so at the very least, Kishan is dead. I think Ashley might be alive. I don't know about Maddie. Che is probably dead, considering he's apparently over 200 years. Also, the Wandering Spirit story reminded me when he was talking about, oh, billiards too! We can find out what happened with Brad and Thomas. When he mentioned something pulling at his feet that caught him off balance. So, I was at the farmer's market today, the bountiful one on the south side, and I was caught off guard because there was a wind blower that was on the ground next to one of the stalls, and caught me off guard because it was on the ground and it was blowing air very forcefully, and I just happened to step onto, like, pretty close to its trajectory. Pretty close to the actual blower and pretty close, like, within its trajectory. So I just felt like a really strong force pushing my foot forward, and I feel like I almost tripped on that because I was not prepared for a very strong wind against my foot. And also, when he was talking about climbing flights of stairs, I do have a bit of a story where on Thursday I was in the office, and most of the time I try to do meetings online so I don't have to move too much from my cubicle, and sometimes meetings get me very sleepy, and it is a lot less obvious when I'm online and not showing my face versus actually being in a meeting room and trying to stay awake kind of thing. But I've been working from home quite a bit lately, so I was like, oh, there's this important meeting coming up. I should probably show my face for it. I should probably show up to the meeting room since I'm in the office today. And so I went down to the meeting room, and my cubicle is on the 15th floor, and the meeting room was on the 12th floor. So going down 3 flights of stairs was fine, but when the meeting ended, I was presented with 3 options to get back upstairs. One was so the elevator system in our building is split up between one set of elevators which is from 2 to 14, and then one set of elevators that goes from the main floor up to 15, like straight up to 15, and then 15 to 25. Well, it can go past 15, but it's like the set is from 15 to 25, but starts on the main floor. So my options were to, from the 12th floor, either go from 12 up to 14 and then walk 1 flight of stairs up to 15, or from 12 go down to the 2nd floor, go down a flight of stairs to the 1st floor, and then take that set of elevators up to the 15th floor, or just walk up 3 flights of stairs. And that was my least preferred option for obvious reasons. But then as I was leaving the meeting room, a couple of my coworkers came up to me and was like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And then trying to start conversation. I'm like, "Oh, I'm okay." And then because of the way that the conversation was going, there wasn't really a good way to just slide away and go to the elevators, and I ended up just following them up the stairs. Except their cubicles are on the 14th floor, so they only had to walk 2 flights of stairs, and then I needed, by that point, walking up to the 14th floor, I could only just walk up to the next flight to 15. So I walked up 3 flights of stairs, and then I was really out of breath because I'm not used to doing stairs. And then I was out of breath. I got back to my cubicle, and then my coworker that sits across from me was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh, you're really tired. Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Yeah, you should get more sleep," and I'm like, "No, I need more stamina." Cry. It's good for your exercise. Yeah, it is probably good for my exercise, but also 3 flights of stairs. Cry. Anyways, okay. Rotten Poppy. Maddie opened an herb jar and sighed as she examined the contents. Rotten. She began pouring them down the sink. "I hate poppy seeds," she muttered to herself. "I won't tolerate that kind of hate speech here," said Che. "Too bad the rules aren't yours to make, old man," said Maddie. "You should have thought of that before you handed me the keys." "I can help you get the keys back," said Ashley. "I've got a magnetic grabber that—" "The keys are a metaphor," said Maddie. "They're not some kind of magical talisman that grants ownership over an establishment." "But there is a magical talisman that grants owner over the establishment?" asked Ashley. Yeah, said Maddie. It's called a deed. And this deed entitles me to certain privileges, such as expressing my hatred for poppy seeds. Hate is not good for the soul, said Shay. Hatred corrupts the soul. Hey, I'm new here, said Kishan. But, are you talking literally? Does hatred actually corrupt the soul? No, hatred does not corrupt the soul, said Maddie, nor will poppy seeds, despite being a distant cousin of the bay leaf. It's a good thing, said Shay, because Maddie's soul is full of hate. Trust me, I've seen the ultrasound. Once again, asked the new guy, I gotta ask, are you talking literally? No, hatred does not show up on an ultrasound, said Maddie. And I assume the thing about bay leaves corrupting the soul is also a metaphor? Oh no, said Maddie. That part was entirely literal. Bay leaves absorb bitterness. You always remove the bay leaf from something before eating it. Bitterness as in figurative bitterness? I was talking literally, in the sense that bay leaves absorb figurative bitterness. I guess they also absorb literal bitterness. I'm so confused right now, said Shay. Just don't absorb a bay leaf into your soul and you'll be fine, said Maddie. It's not the kind of thing that happens accidentally. Are you sure? Said Kishan, because I think I may have accidentally ingested a bay leaf one time. My friend's grandma made this big pot of chili. The soul is not connected to your digestive tract, said Maddie. It's not your gut. So unless you're inhaling your food, it's not going to be a problem. Again, said Kishan, new guy here. Soul, respiratory system. That's a thing? Oh yeah, said Maddie. Why do you think people are so into burning herbs and inhaling them? And I always assumed that was just how, I don't know exactly how cannabis works, but it's, like, psychoactive? What? Said Maddie. No, not that herb. Like, people who burn incense. Huh, said Kishan. Well, that's something new. That's why you always have to watch out for when herbs go bad, said Maddie. Someone might accidentally inhale some of them. Yet another reason to hate poppy seeds and their short shelf life. Kishan's eyes narrowed. How long does it take for poppy seeds to go bad? These went bad in a matter of months, said Maddie. A matter of months? Said Kishan. How many months are we talking here? Maybe 30, said Maddie. Kishan did some counting on his fingers. 30 months is 2.5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Shay piped up. You left that jar for poppy seeds for 2.5 years? Maddie nodded. As I said, a number of months. 30 is a number. 30 is an injustice, said Shay. How have you not touched poppy seeds in all this time? People don't actually like poppy seeds, said Maddie. People just like the muffins they come in. If you give them the muffin without the poppy seeds, they'll like it even more. Poppy seeds just make everything worse. People love poppy seeds, said Shay. Me, for instance. I have a great love for the humble poppy. Really, said Maddie. Then how is it that you've never touched this jar of poppy seeds in the past 30 or so months it's been sitting on the spice shelf? Shay shrugged. I like lots of things. Evidently, during the past 30 months, I've found things I enjoy more than the humble poppy seed. I'm offended by the idea that you would discriminate against such a lowly and unpretentious food item. You like the idea of poppy seeds, said Maddie. You like the idea of an herb that comes in discrete units called seeds so much you don't have to wonder about how much a sprig is. It's something that you can picture as opposed to cumin that you wouldn't recognize even if I said it on your tongue, or rosemary, which you probably forgot was a spice and which you couldn't tell from time. Yeah. When you see me disposing of poppy seeds, it pains you because it's something you can conceptualize. If I told you I hate cumin and had to flush a bunch of it down the sink, would you be bothered by that? Probably not, said Shay. So really, it is not I who am discriminating against poppy seed. It is you who is discriminating against non-poppy seed spices. There's no reason for us to have poppy seeds anywhere in this cafe. People claim they want them, but you can go years without ever serving up a single poppy seed, and no one will notice its absence. A woman wearing a loose green sweater walked up to the counter. Are you just talking about poppy seeds? Yes, said Maddie. We're all out. Oh, that's too bad, said the woman. I was hoping you might have a don't say muffin, thought Maddie to herself. Don't say anything about poppy seed muffins. A poppy seed muffin, said the woman. My grandmother was really fond of them. Faye grinned as Maddie tried to avoid cringing. The woman in the green sweater said, they used to be a part of the standard muffin trifecta, chocolate, blueberry, poppy seed. I always wondered why cafes stopped serving poppy seed muffins. I wonder, said Maddie aloud. It's been so long since I've tasted one, said the woman. Years, I'm guessing, said Maddie. Yeah, it's been years, said the woman. That one. It's good for your health. I love lemon poppy seed muffins. They're one of my favorite types of muffins. Poppy seed muffins. Forget chocolate. Yeah, I do enjoy lemon poppy seed muffins as well. I think I like blueberry muffins most. But muffins in general are generally okay with me as long as there's no nuts in it. Carrot, blueberry, lemon poppy seed. Yeah, they're all great. Chocolate is good too. Chocolate is good too. It does make me kind of want to go to Costco and get some muffins, but they've made the muffins... I think they've either increased the prices of the muffins or they've made them smaller or both. They're not as... They're not as much value as they were before, like those giant muffins that they used to have. But also, I feel like I really like the muffins at McDonald's because they seem to get the muffin tops to be like this nice, crisp kind of texture. So then it's nice biting into, like when I get muffins from other places, it's like fully soft, but like McDonald's, when they do their muffins, they somehow they either like dry out the top or something like that, or leave it in the oven for put too much heat on the top, and then the top part ends up getting a little bit on the crispy side. So, and the texture is nice. Oh yeah, fair. Non-death muffins are probably a bonus for you. Yeah, it is quite unfortunate though, because carrot muffins do tend to have walnuts in them because people like to have the added texture of the walnuts with it. So I need to watch out whenever I have carrot muffins, but carrot muffins are also tasty. Well, I wouldn't be... I mean, to be fair, they were family-sized each. Yeah, they're smaller and more expensive. Yeah, they are. So, because they're so big, it was kind of nice because you would get like a pack of 6 of them, and then like for breakfast, you'd probably only eat half at a time because they're so big. But I was thinking that if I could get a set of 6, I can put some into the freezer and then just like pull it out for like breakfasts later. A nice crispy top is the best though, right? Nice crispy top muffin. So yeah, back when there was a McDonald's close to my office building, and I had a friend who came pretty early in the morning, then we would sometimes go and get some coffee or tea together, and sometimes I would also get a muffin if I felt like it. So that was a fun morning routine that we sometimes did. Alas, she has moved on to another company, so I no longer have a morning coffee buddy. But yeah, it was nice. And also there is no McDonald's around the office building anymore, which is quite unfortunate. Okay, moving on from the poppy. Is there anything here? Oh yes, Fisherman 3. Do I want to do Fisherman 3 before I do Fisherman 1 and 2? Or does someone want to help me remember that there is a Fisherman 3 thing, and then I'll like run into Fisherman 1 and then Fisherman 2, and then I'll be like, no! What happened next? I need 3 now! And then I'll totally forget that it's already unlocked. Alternatively, I watch Fisherman 3 and have like 0 context for what's going on. I think it's just that one and Billiards 2 next. Leave a note for myself. I guess that is an option if I remember that the note is actually there. I tried doing this thing where I would put like a sticky note on my monitor, so then I would get reminded of things, but either the sticky note tended to fall off, or I would completely gloss over the sticky note that's actually there. Like, you get so used to seeing the sticky note there that you forget about it, and then I didn't actually get reminded of it. I can't keep track of a single story, so you're on your own. Okay, thanks, Elaine. I appreciate the honesty. You know, kid, you got style. Brad perked up. It was the first unsolicited remark he'd heard from Old Man Thomas all night. He'd been expecting a compliment after beating Thomas, but to hear that kind of comment after a loss made him perk right up. Thanks, said Brad. It wasn't a compliment, said Thomas. And just like that, Brad's mood came crashing down. Thomas continued. All the best players back in the day, none of them had style. Style doesn't win tournaments. Sure, said Brad. Consistency is what wins tournaments. Consistency doesn't mean anything, said Thomas. That's a symptom of skilled play. It's not a thing you can just decide on. No one sits down at the table thinking, gee, I better be consistent today. Nobody. So if you're not thinking about consistency, what are you thinking about? Fundamentals. Thomas chalked the end of his cue. Fundamentals are what matters most, because if you don't get the fundamentals right, all the fancy stuff isn't going to matter. Thomas leaned down to line up his cue. Straight-in shot is your specialty. Several opponents told me that exactly that, tongue-in-cheek, thinking that they were insulting me. But I take it as a compliment. If you control the cue ball, you can turn any shot into a chip shot. That's what you want to do. That's how I can still sink him, even at my old age. I know. I've been watching you, said Brad. Your cue ball control is incredible. You're a very talented player. Not talented, said Thomas. You can do it too. The question is whether you've got the discipline and the practice. Thomas followed through with his stroke and hit the apex of the triangle head-on. He sank 2 balls, one striped, one solid. He pointed to the striped one, signifying his choice. I'm plenty disciplined, said Brad. When I was in high school, I'd come out every day after school and put in at least 4 hours of practice. Sometimes I'd come in after dinner to squeeze in a few hours more. Then on weekends, I'd come and spend all day up here. Of course you did, said Thomas. All the pros have. Anyone can put in time. At a certain point, what matters can't be the number of hours you put in because everyone puts in the time. What matters is how you use that time. And it seems like you spend a lot of time practicing trick shots. Thomas lined up and made several practice strokes. Brad found himself getting annoyed with Thomas. Brad knew better than to try to talk to Thomas while he was lining up a shot. That was bad etiquette. And just bad sportsmanship, plain and simple. But it kept him from offering timely retorts to Thomas's statements. It was bad sportsmanship, Brad decided, to talk at an opponent in a situation where etiquette forbade him from responding. Thomas finally took the shot and sunk a solid-colored ball, but a bad bounce put the cue in the pocket with it. Brad sighed with relief as he took control of the ball, and with it, control of the conversation. You're right, it takes a lot of practice. Brad lined up a shot, aiming at one of the balls in the opposite corner. If he could get the angle just right, he took the shot and cue ball knocked one of the strike balls into the back left pocket before ricocheting and hitting another ball into the back right pocket. A clean double. Brad tapped the table with his cue as if to emphasize the shot he had just made. You don't learn how to do stuff like this overnight. That's a nice trick, said Thomas. Now, can you do the same thing 10 times in a row without messing it up? No, said Brad. It's a hard shot. About a 10% for most people. But I'm good. I can get it 30-40%. 30% shot isn't worth taking, said Thomas. If I offered you a coin flip bet with a weighted coin, would you take it? No, of course not, said Brad. And yet you take the low percentage shot? I make it a higher percentage shot, though, said Brad. Yes, and I'm sure that you look like a big hero by doing it, and when you miss, no one calls you on it because defensive shots are boring, said Thomas. I can play defensively, said Brad, but you don't win games by playing defensively. Of course not, said Thomas. There's nothing on the scoreboard that lets you tabulate the places where you denied your opponent a point. Brad was angry now, and he began lining up his next shot just so he wouldn't have to hear the old man talk. Some players might get tilted in a situation like this, but Brad played better when he was emotional. Whatever it was that made him play better under pressure also made him play better while angry. He couldn't even think about the shots he was making. He was operating on pure instinct and conscious thought. The thought that was chased away by anger was only a distraction. Brad tried for another double. He missed the second ball, but one was enough to set him up for a triple bank shot, which he followed with another shot that he put spin on. He didn't even need to curve the ball around anything, he just wanted to show Thomas that he could do it reliably. Fortunately, he didn't get punished for it. His last shot placed one of Thomas's balls between the black 8 ball and the white cue ball. Brad knew that he could sink the shot easily by hitting Thomas's solid into his stripe, but he was on fire and he wanted something flashy. He struck the cue ball's base, driving the leather tip of his stick into the table, and it bounced the ball up and over Thomas's ball, hitting his own and sending it into the pocket. Brad turned to Thomas with a look of defiance. Looks like this game is mine, old man. Yep, said Thomas. He took another sip of his beer. Is that all you have to say? Yep, said Thomas. How about, oh, you've outplayed me. Do you need me to tell you that? Said Thomas. Well, acknowledgement would be nice. A moment after he finished saying it, Brad found himself cringing. He was sounding like a petulant child. He was frustrated and angry and disappointed. But knowing all of that about himself didn't make any of it less true. Thomas shrugged. I thought you played to win the game, not for validation. Oh, give me a break, said Brad. That line coming from a pro. When you compete, play to win, sure, but there's money on the line. And the money goes to the person who gets the W. You get to win the game, you get the money. But I get the feeling you're playing for something else. What are you talking about? Said Brad. You play to impress people. That's different from playing to win. That's why you never take the defensive shot. I just won! Yep, said Thomas. But you weren't playing to win. Just because you happened to win doesn't mean you made the right decision. How does that make any sense? Said Brad. Thomas took a coin out of his pocket. Here's a hypothetical. Suppose I have a coin. I ask you to call heads or tails on a $1 bet. Now, you know that the coin is weighted. It lands on heads 70% of the time. What do you bet on? Heads, of course, said Brad. Now, I flip the coin. It comes up tails. Bad luck, Brad. You just lost the dollar. But did you make the right decision? What? Thomas continued. If you had called tails, you would have won the bet. Clearly, calling tails is the wrong decision. But sometimes you make the wrong decision and get short-term payoffs. That's why the fact that you won doesn't necessarily mean that you made the right decision. And sometimes things only reveal themselves after you've flipped the coin hundreds of times. I played hundreds of games, said Brad. And that's as a pro. Practice games, I play 100 games in a week, easy. Maybe 200 games a week, depending. And how many times have you made the WBC? I won the WBC, said Brad. Great, said Thomas. That's the thing about calling tails. Sometimes, even if you make the wrong choice, randomness comes in your favor and you happen to run hot. But in the long run, things don't quite pan out. Brad threw his cue down. So now you're saying that my wins were all due to luck? Not all luck, said Thomas. Like you said, it takes some skill to take a 10% shot into a 30% shot. A lot of skill, in fact. You've got good hands and a good eye for the ball, but the lust for a cool shot supersedes that. You'd rather fail spectacularly than win through boring play. You know what? I actually won WBC. Maybe I did run hot for just 1 year, but at least I have a championship to my name. You made it to the final 6 times and lost every time, and now your career is done. You're over with. You'll never be a WBC champion, a title which I hold, by the way. You're right, said Thomas. I don't mean to knock the high variance approach. Maybe that's what you want, to win once and then burn out? Yeah, that is what I want, said Brad, annoyed to find himself agreeing with Thomas. What have you done with your life since retirement, old man? Ever done anything wild? I bet you've lived more in one night than you have in your entire life. Sorry, I bet I've lived more in one life than you have in your entire life. I'm happy with the way I spent my life, said Thomas. No regrets. His eyes softened. Can you say the same? The question should have come as a challenge, but there's something in Thomas's eyes as he looked at Brad that made it feel even worse. Thomas's expression wasn't one of antagonism, it was one of pity. Brad knew deep in the pit of his heart that Thomas wasn't doing it to attack him, and that made it sting even worse. Brad started to say something, but found himself choking on a lump in his throat, and as he reached up and felt wetness on his cheeks, he realized he was crying. Ah! Yeah! Yeah! That's it! That's it for billiards too. I guess this conversation continues elsewhere. Okay. I have decided I will wait for Fisherman 3. I'll do 1 and 2 first, and then hopefully remember that there is a 3 somewhere in the story. But also, where is Keishan? Because I thought he was supposed to be part of that studio thing that got unlocked. Oh, that's where I came. Oh, there you are. Hello! Enter studio mode. What is studio mode? Hmm? People, robot. Question mark. What am I even looking at? Wait, position. Whoa, whoa! Lights? Oh, whoa. I don't see like a play button or anything. Like, what is this even for? I am so confused, but okay, cool that this is a thing. Oh, they put us back here. Bookmarks? Oh! Oh! So we just finished episode 3. Are there 10? How do I save? Wait, how do I make a... How do I save in this game? Do I need to make it, like, during an episode, maybe? Oh. So if I go to title, hopefully it doesn't erase my progress, question mark? And it's not like I really did anything that would need to be customized, I guess? So they could just put me, like, wherever the last episode I did was? Maybe, or you would just need to select an episode? Okay, well, I guess this is where we're gonna leave off for today, then. Because it is 2 a.m. So, in any case, for announcements, I think TGL should be continuing on with Claire Obscure, late, like, tomorrow / later today because it is 2 a.m. Or on Monday, whichever one works better for her schedule. I think Dino will be continuing on with Resident Evil Requiem on Tuesday. And then hopefully next Saturday I will be continuing on with this game. Seems pretty interesting so far. I wasn't really sure what to expect going into it. I was kind of wondering if it would be like kind of like Death Parade vibes, which is a pretty interesting but older anime now. But yeah, it does seem, the premise at least seems pretty interesting, and it's nice kind of to see how everything's slowly getting fleshed out. But in any case, as usual, thank you for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I hope everyone has a good night. Bye, everyone.